ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I gotta do. Life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore, so just don't be ignored. Go ask for more, go ask for more. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could.
What now? We on a chase to the sundown. We on a chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. Look, faking the lead, we don't follow. We need it now, not tomorrow. Don't care what they say, not changing the pace. Working too hard to be last in the race. So much time in the day, and it ain't none to waste. Working this hard to be one of the greats. Whatever it takes, put that on the plate. Life is a gamble, we raising the stakes. Moving the bar up so high. Been on our grind, full life. Bringing the light, you just so bright. We shining, platinum sound cool, but we trying to reach diamond. Hard work pays off, that's perfect timing. Changing the world with this rhyming, it's priceless. We got the nicest by putting the time in. Can't be the greatest, you're not even trying. What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up.
Hello? Man, I lost track of time. I apologize, Mama. Go ahead and eat without me. I'm still on the grind.
I ain't touching home base by dinner time. All I can see is the finish line. Started, I gotta finish mine. It's get it time, anytime, hella long. I've been in line, I didn't mind it all. Waking bake won't take a break at all. That's on my word, my boss. Naming lights gon' have to pay me twice or pay me no mind, and I don't mind it all. My grind is green, I am my job to inspire. I'm right behind Goats, a line has been fired by a chain for a time. I ain't get hired, second week kicked in, I probably won't get tired. Kevin Gates or Kevin Bacon, only 6 degrees of separation between me and the next level of elevation. Perseverance, the art of dedication. What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome in. How is everybody doing today? Well, I hope everybody is well. It's the end of the Thanksgiving weekend for our American friends there in North America, so everybody is all full of good eats and some great family time, and, well, dreading the Monday morning blues. But that's all right. We're going to finish off your Thanksgiving weekends here with a great race on the schedule. This comes from the Infinite Racing League on the Assetto Corsa Competizione PlayStation 5 Edition platform. I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Welcome in. Family-friendly broadcast, of course. And we are at Paul Ricard. So this is going to be an interesting race because it is not favorable racing conditions today for our drivers. As you can see on the graphic in front, there's a little rainy cloud there right beside Paul Ricard in the bottom center of the graphic, and that's because we are racing under rain conditions today. Now, we did announce that it was going to be a 90-minute race last week, and it was a mistake on the information package flyer that has been corrected, and we're actually in for a 60-minute race here this weekend. So let's break this down a little bit here for everybody. Let me see if there's any tire mandate. I don't think so. No pit requirements this week for our drivers, so we'll have a 15-minute qualifier followed up with a 60-minute race here today. So short and sweet, but not without its complications, as of course, well, it's wet outside. I mean, what else can we say, right? Very, very wet outside. We're just taking care of a couple of things, so I do apologize. And then we're gonna introduce the drivers list here tonight for everybody. We're gonna do something a little bit different, something we haven't done before. So let's lose some stuff on the screen so we can get to it. All right, our drivers list. Aha. So today we do have, now I want to make note right before we even go through this, our current championship points leader JP in the Lamborghini is not able to be on track this evening. So that leaves massive opportunity for one of these drivers on the grid to gain some big time points. The usual players, MX Blocks, I'm currently fastest in practice. It is Johnny B back in action here this weekend as well. He is a race down from last week, so he's going to be looking to be at the top of the podium here tonight. We got newcomer Lucas currently sitting third here in free practice, and he's in an Aston Martin. We have Little Mac from RWB Racing back here this season as well in that BMW, currently sitting fourth in free practice. That brings us to Hi, My Name is What in that McLaren. He is here currently in fifth place. We have Eris Ribos, who won last week's race, if we remember, in that number 21 Porsche. It's funny, and we were joined by MX Blocks up in the booth for the beginning of the race, and he called this driver out before we even got underway, and lo and behold, he ends up winning the race. We have McCrank here in seventh place here in free practice so far. I'm spitting on myself apparently. In the number 113 McLaren, we have Tango 2 in the Lexus here, and opting for a car change here, it looks like. So I believe he's going to be starting back to 0 points here today. I believe is the ruling on that in the series when it comes to car changes. It is Apex Guardian back on track here in ninth place currently in that Ferrari here, his first season at Infinite Racing League. We've got Rigo in the Lamborghini currently sitting 10th in free practice. Right behind him in 11th is GLR Kazimitsu. We've got Fluka sitting in 12th place, our third place finisher last season in Summer Series 2.0. We've got Cletus here in a number 41 Ferrari, and very quick driver. It's just a matter of time before this driver starts plunking himself on that podium week in and week out. We have Call Me CJ here in 14th position. Rapid Duck in 15th place here, and that's an unusual thing, but this is just free practice. We have Sila here in a 16th position. We got GLR Seal currently sitting 17th in free practice. Butler Racing with the Aston Martin currently sitting in 18th. We've got Sabajin in 19th position, and I believe he missed last week's race as well. And Needham's here in 20th place in the Sky McLaren. We've got Delta Mike here in 21st. We've got Apex Jakey back for the first race this season and going in the Aston Martin this season as opposed to the Bentley from last season. We have 23rd place is Rock Lee in that McLaren, and he just plunked himself back into pit lane. We've got Average Lad here in 24th, and I believe this is the first race for this driver. We've got Joy Boy returning here in 25th. We've got Franz back here in the BMW as well in 26th position. We've got Irish Jerry here up in 27th. We've got Racing Hobo just coming out of pit lane there in 28th. We've got Oreo African in 29th position, and he's in the Lexus, so we don't have a car change for Tango 2. It's just us the way the camera angle was giving it to us, so we do apologize. We have MBP Ramen here in 30th position, and in 31st is El Bombastico, and there's still about 4 minutes left in free practice. So with that being said, potentially more drivers yet to come out of the paddock. We'll have to wait and see. So let's jump on board with somebody on track. We'll go in our 5th place driver. Hi, my name is here for the remaining of our free practice. So we have about 4 minutes left here in free practice today. So I hope everybody's doing fantastic. Hope we're all feeling well and good and full of good eats, because now we're in for a good race. Evening Ghost, how you doing? GLR Racer, how you doing, my guy? Conditions are very tricky. Looks like everybody's been managing them fairly well from what I've been seeing so far, but we haven't been watching too closely. So I don't know. Nice big fat grid though, that's for sure. 31 drivers on track here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty incredible, I gotta say. So good job to the racers. This is going to be a tough race for everybody here tonight, without a question of a doubt. And I mean, Paul Ricard on a good day is already a tricky enough racetrack in dry conditions or optimal conditions. So in wet conditions, and those wet conditions aren't going to change all race long by the looks of it. It looks like it's coming down at a pretty steady rate here. Is going to make it even trickier. So it's one thing to be in the situation where our 5th place driver, Hi, my name is right now, is, I mean, he's got lots of room around him. It's not going to be like that at race start. We're going to have 31 cars all packed about a quarter-mile cluster, group nose to tail, bearing down on a series of corners right off the bat. Cold tires, and very dicey conditions. Visibility is going to be very difficult in the early going laps. Obviously, with the overspray from the car in front of you, there's going to be a lot of things that these drivers are going to be battling here tonight. And then that's just to get us into the single file racing, where everybody starts to settle into their race paces and their strategies. Now, I don't think we're going to see pit stops here tonight. I really don't. I think this is going to be a no stop style race here tonight, but that's just an early assessment from me. So we don't have any car audio on. I know everybody's probably wondering. Let's get that going for everybody. We just had it clicked off for the time being while we're kind of bringing in everything that's happening. Now, I'm unsure if we're going to be joined by Choco or not here tonight in the booth, but we haven't heard word from our co-host if he's going to make it here tonight or not, but it doesn't change the fact that we're still going to get this race to everybody, and well, try to catch as much of the action as we can. That's all we can really do. So we've been trying to stick with the battles a little more here throughout the season, as well, with so many cars on the grid, there's always a battle happening on the racetrack, I suppose, but it's always hard to determine which one we're going to be watching. But lately, the way this season has been going, it has been at the very front pack at the very end of the race is when things really start to send it for those guys. You know, they play nice for about 95% of the race, and then the last 5%, it's all handshakes are off and the gloves are on, and it's every man for himself again. So it'll be an interesting race here in the wet. Very well could see some gapping, some spacing from the drivers as well here tonight. Obviously, due to the wet conditions, it's going to make it very tricky. I couldn't even begin to theorize what these drivers got to deal with. Typically, I would run some laps in one of the lobbies throughout the week to just kind of get an idea what the drivers are up against, but I just really have not had time to update my settings due to the newest version of the game. So once we get that done, then maybe we'll start getting a little bit of reference on what the drivers are dealing with, of course, just to give you a little bit of in-depth look of what these guys and gals are fighting against all race long. Now, you know, 31 cars, it looks fun. It's intense. It's a lot of work behind the wheel. Your focus has to be laser sharp, 1000%. You have to be, your head has to be on a 360-degree swivel, and you can only really move your head in these safety devices a few degrees one way or the other. So you're really relying on your mirrors, your spotters, and a lot of these things that are supplied to these GT3 cars in racing conditions on these racetracks. So there's a lot happening, and you're surrounded by cars. So every little mistake costs position. You could potentially cause an incident, which could cause a wreck, which could put you out of the race and others out of the race, or at least bare minimum have to go cause a pit stop for you to come in for damage, which is going to cost you overall time on the race, and then you're on the back foot, and there's so much going on at a race start that these drivers are dealing with. So kudos to every one of the 31 drivers so far chalked into the race here tonight, because oh boy, tough conditions, wet conditions. But in our experience with these wet races here at IRL and Infinite Racing League, partnered with Coach Dave Academy, of course, as well, is they've been pretty fun to watch. They have been a blast to watch. We have seen battles for the lead go sideways and leaders take each other out just due to the wet conditions and a pooled puddle in the wrong spot at the wrong time. We've seen some pretty crazy stuff in these rain races, some crazy 4-3, 4-5 way battles that just happen just because of a little bit of overspeed under braking in those wet conditions again. It's anybody's game. It's anybody's game, that's for sure. So we're about less than 2 minutes away from qualifying, so it'll be a 15-minute qualifying run. And we're going to try and sit on board with MX Bloxham, as he is our fastest in free practice. So
Green light, go, go, go.
we'll sit on that. That was an epic fail right there. Where is he? There he is. I don't understand why it keeps doing that. There we go. Alright, so he was fastest in practice, and not by a lot. I think it was half a second at the end of free practice, but I mean it was separated by hairs between the top 4 or 5 drivers. For quite a bit of the free practice run, it looked like while I was just in here perusing and getting some information on what these guys are against. And I mean, it's not pouring. I mean, it's not coming down in sheets and buckets. It's definitely a steady rain here today. It's just going to make this racetrack absolutely crazy. Let's go, says Baby. Yeah, it's definitely going to be good. It's definitely going to be a good one. Just trying to keep an eye on those metrics here, make sure we're not losing audios for you guys and gals. So MX Bloxham is one of those big players here this championship season, of course. Johnny B being one of them big players. Rapid Duck is always a contender. Ares Ribos is a contender here this season. Fluka has always been a contender here in the last couple seasons as well. Cletus has been driving very well this season. Tango 2 has been driving very well this season. If he could just keep out of trouble. He always seems to find himself in the wrong place at the wrong time on the racetrack at some point in the race, and hurts his chances a little bit. You know, if you could get one of those through, Little Mac looks very fast here tonight. It really, there's a couple handfuls of names on this driver's list here tonight that really, if they get a good clean run, they can have an opportunity of winning this. We have newcomer Lucas, who is looking very quick here in free practice as well today. He's right there splitting hairs with Johnny B and MX Bloxham in free practice as well. So again, new faces does not mean that they're slow drivers. That's why we don't go by the tags behind their names, because some drivers are just new to the game. It doesn't make their experience level any less than the next driver. Some drivers just really learn to adapt very well to the conditions, from sim to platform to sim platform. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes down tonight. It's an hour-long race. It's going to, like I said, probably most likely be a no-stop situation here tonight, unless you incur some damage or something like that that needs attention. I don't think we're going to see tire changes, and I really don't think we're going to see fuel stops here. That 60-minute window is like the perfect endurance window here for not having to stop. You just got to kind of bear and grin that heavy fuel load early on in the race, and hopefully you can keep yourself out of trouble, get yourself into a position to start battling through the field, or in the case of the race leader, maintaining race pace and just trying to control that. We got a little bit of confusion happening up in front here as well. 31 cars are trying to get their qualifying runs here in a very short qualifying window of only 15 minutes. So a little bit of patience and and some wet conditions could make it interesting. No dry line was evident after practice, says Racer. There we go. A little bit of inside information coming in from one of our racers and race teams in behind the scenes here. So we always love that. We appreciate all the good information that we can get. It's all good, guys. It's all good, guys. We don't give up too much juicy tidbits information that you guys can't see yourselves on your own screens. So good luck to all the racers that are hanging out watching the race as well tonight. Really hope well, we don't hope, we know it's going to be a good race. It's always these rain races, like I said, have always been fantastic, especially from the viewer's standpoint. Hearing from the Infinite Racing League, the drivers look good. They look calm. They look patient. They look ready for the race here tonight, from what I could tell in free practice. I mean, obviously, mistakes are going to be made, especially under close door-to-door, wheel-to-wheel conditions. But for the most part, the drivers looked fairly, I wouldn't say necessarily comfortable, but adapted to the conditions on the racetrack. So to me, that tells me we should be in for a pretty decent race here tonight. It's all going to come down to, just like I said, the first couple laps are really going to be the difficult part for these 31 drivers here tonight. With the conditions on track are going to make it that extra bit of difficult. But then once these drivers kind of start to sort themselves out in that early battling for position, I think it's when the race really starts, and I think that's when things are going to get good. So we're going to stick on board with Bloxham here just for a few moments here now. A 159.487 was the out lap, I believe. So we are on lap 2 right now for Bloxham, so this will be the official lap here coming from him, and then we'll go through the field and see where everybody's sitting. Johnny B currently sitting on that provisional position, but that's all going to change around once these drivers come around here on their second lap. So official qualifying underway essentially now for the drivers that are on their second laps. Of course, the out lap never counting. Team pulled me out after all my practice crashes, no spares left. That's alright, they'll get him fixed back up. He'll be ready to go in no time, my man. Alright, so Johnny B made a pretty bold statement in the Discord server right before during round 3's race, or just before round 3's race at Indy last weekend, stating that he is coming forward nothing but a win this weekend. So he's a driver that we're definitely going to be having our eyes on here throughout the race tonight, and you know, he's typically not too far off a statement like that when he says that he is one of those drivers that can most certainly back it up as well. So we'll see what's in store for him here tonight, but it looks like it's Johnny B on pole right now. It's going to be Bloxham here, currently sitting in second. Let's get through our field here. We got Hi My Name Is in 17th, got McCrank in 7th position here, and a lot of these guys are just kind of starting to sort their official lap. So some drivers, ooh, we got Irish Jerry going for a little slip and slide ride there down the hill, gets that car back in a safe spot. We got Rockley here in 13th position. I believe that was 17th that Jerry was sitting at the time, or 27th, one of the two there, that we caught him in a little bit of a moment there in qualifying. Here we got Robin in 29th position. We got Anitams in the Sky McLaren currently sitting in 11th place. We got Call Me CJ sitting up in the top 10, holding down that top 10 part of the pack. We got Average Lad holding down the 20th spot of our top 20 here as well. Currently on the racetrack, we got Rigo up into, well, that was 8th place. Cletus just took that from him there, and he moves down into 9th place there, and he's going to come off the track right there. Maybe not happy with his qualifying setup. They're going to make an adjustment and try and get the car out. 8 minutes left, so there's definitely still time to get some laps in yet for these drivers. We've got Bombasticals just sitting in pit lane here currently. Lucas sitting in 3rd place here currently right now, and 159.8 coming from that driver. So it looks like we're splitting hairs between the top 3 for sure here again in early qualifying, and it's gonna be an interesting race. It's gonna be an interesting race for sure. We got Jakey coming across the line. It's going to be 13th there with his first official lap across the line. And he's in that Aston Martin here as well. So we got 3 of them out on the track suddenly here this weekend. Butler Racing is just dropped down to 17th there as we just stopped in to see what's going on. We got Oreo in 24th position. Car even kind of looks like one. That's awesome. We got Little Mac here in 7th place. He's got that classic yellow and blue rolling like he always does here. Lots of set of cores of competition experience here, Little Mac. I definitely can't wait to see what he's got here this week in the rain in that BMW, but it's been a while since we've seen him on track here, so I'm always excited to see Little Mac race. We got Franz here in 22nd position here as well. He's in that BMW as well. Which car is going to be better in the rain? I couldn't even begin to speculate. This is not my platform of expertise, unfortunately. I'm right there along with all the viewers at home watching. I'm learning as I'm going as well here, so that's why we ask such interesting questions in interviews, because the drivers kind of give us a little bit more insight. We got Guardian here in 15th place currently on the racetrack right now. Tango 2 is currently sitting in 11th place. He looks like he was just making an adjustment on his setup there. Sabajian's coming back out, much of the same thing it looks like, or drivers have just made mistakes. That's possible as well. Delta Mike's currently sitting 29th out of 31. I know it says 32 two on the board, but with that 32nd spot is me as a spectator on the track. So we have Fluka here, who has not put in an official lap yet, so let's sit on board with the number 3. So this is our 3rd place finisher from Summer Series 2. Just the most recent one that we just finished up here, what was it, 5-6 weeks ago here, from Infinite Racing League. So that's why he's carrying that number 3, of course, on the side of his car there. And let's see what he's got here as he comes around for his first official flying lap, and it wasn't a great one by the looks of it there, so nothing recorded yet, still sitting in 30th place. Got GLR Seal here in 17th position. A couple of Porsches on the track here tonight as well. We've got Eris Arribos here, our last weekend's winner at Indy, currently sitting in 12th place here, also in that Porsche. We've got Rapid Duck up into 6th place. So in practice, he was about mid-pack, and now starting to show us cards a little bit here. Now moving up into 6th place in alien fashion, like we would expect to see out of Rapid Duck. We've got Kazimitsu just ahead of him here in 5th place as well. And we know this driver's quick. He had a great performance last week. He had a good performance the week before that. Let's see what he's got this week. We've got Johnny B still sitting in pole position. That time is a 59.222, so a pretty quick time there. Compared to the drivers chasing, it's a 59.4 from Bloxham, so just a hair under 0.2 of a second separating first and second place. And then Lucas, I believe, was a 59.8 when we were looking, so he's got about 0.6 there. Hi, my name is just nipping at the heels of Lucas there, splitting hairs by hundreds by the looks of it. Currently sitting in 4th place, and this driver's looking very good in this series so far in that McLaren, so really starting to settle in. We have McCrank here in 9th place, and this driver is kind of one of those dark horse drivers. He's very silent, but man, does he get the job done on the racetrack. Surprised no AMGs this season. There is one. The driver's just not on track today. The Damn Cat has been driving the Mercedes this season. He just hasn't been here last week or this week. We got Racing Hobo here in 27th position. We've got Sila here in 28th. We got Jerry in 26th. Rock Lee had a good performance last week. It was a pretty exciting race for him last week, and sitting in 15th position. We've got Raman here up into 21st. We've got Anidams now up into 6th place. So lots of fast drivers in the wet conditions here. You know, some drivers just really perform well under wet conditions. It's really, really surprising to see a driver that may typically struggle under a dry condition race also come into a wet race and just absolutely looks so fantastic. Some people just do really well in wet conditions. It's a skill. It really is a skill. It's a skill that can be taught, but I think the true wet drivers out there in the racing world, you know, that's just something that's bred in, or you know, it's just deep in them, and they just, you know, they get into that rhythm, and it's just dangerous, right? You know what I mean? So let's look into the big screen here too. Apologize, I kept you on the tiny little screen there for so long. Kept you on the tiny screen for so long. We may not be joined by our co-host here tonight. Typically he lets me know if he's coming or not, and I haven't actually heard from him here, so he could very well, I mean, Thanksgiving weekend could very well be busy and understandable. So Bombastical here in 31st. Lucas has put it in pit lane there. He's currently sitting in 3rd place, and it's a 59.5, so actually it was only a 10th, just less than a 10th in behind 2nd place Bloxham there currently. Jakey here in 15th position. And there's about 2.5 minutes left of qualifying, invalidating that lap right there by going over track limits. Butler Racing has put it in pit lane. He's just going to wait for the race to start here. Got Oreo in 26th position. We've got Little Mac, just coming across the line, grabbing 2 spots there, moving up into 8th place here, and was very quick in free practice as well. So we've got Franz here in 25th position. Cletus is down in 11th place here. We know this is a very, very quick driver, so, and he's actually going to opt to come into pit lane here. We got Guardian coming out of pit lane, and not actually, well, maybe going to have time for another lap, but it's going to be nip and tuck. Whether or not he's going to get around in time there. We've got Tango 2 here in 14th position. I believe that was Rigo just in front of him right there in the Lamborghini. He's going to pull it off track there. Nope, he just looked like he didn't want to get in the way Tango 2 there. We've got Sabajin in 20th. Now, don't count this driver out. Again, this is another, a little bit of a mistake right there. Keeps it together, though, real well. It's going to invalidate his lap, unfortunately, but he's cool, calm, and collected on the racetrack. He doesn't seem to panic too much. He just sticks to his race plan, and he always ends up to fare out pretty well because of it. You know, there's just some of those drivers out there that just don't panic. I get the vibe from Sabajin that he's exactly one of those types of racers. And don't count that driver out. I mean, there's very, very strong potential to see him up in the top 10 by the end of this race here tonight as well. We've got Joy Boy returns here. We have Luca here again up into 7th place now, so definitely bouncing around up in the top 10 here for sure through qualifying. And I mean, the timer's down to under a minute here. We got Seal in 19th. Eris Rebos in 11th position. I'm glad he clarified his name a little bit. We were a little bit off, but not too far off there. And again, last weekend's winner at Indy, so let's see what he has in store for us here tonight. Rapid Duck in 10th position. Johnny B still sitting in pole. Kazi still sitting in 5th place. Looks like Bloxham still holding 2nd, with Lucas still holding 3rd place here. Hi, my name is in 4th. We've seen it lots, so we've seen drivers come across with that final lap, man, and it's up a laser. But Crank in 9th, it's just absolutely changing all over the place here. So, is he going to go around? No, he's going to pull it off track there. We got Sila here in 21st position. This is just going to come across there to 201.9. 202.2 that time around, so not an improvement there. Definitely not going to be time for another one there. I think that's pretty much going to be end qualifying here, except for any drivers that may be on a flying lap still. They call me CJ here. Should have enough time to get a lap in. Alright, so normally we start in the middle of the pack. That's kind of typically been what we're going to do here, but this season has been a little bit different and a little bit special, so we're actually going to start right in the front of the pack here at race beginning, and then we're just going to kind of filter through the pack, you know, maybe about part way through the first lap here, and hopefully everybody gets through the first few corners all right and without too much significant damage or anything like that, and we have a great race here tonight at Paul Ricard. So very wet conditions here, that's for sure, and it's going to be 16th here for Call Me CJ, so I wasn't paying attention. I believe that was an improvement. No, actually, yes, no, maybe so, I don't remember. We got Rigo and another driver. It looks like Oreo African is still out on a flyer here in that Lexus as well. So Rigo here in the number 13 Lamborghini in 13th position on the racetrack right now. That's interesting. A little bit of irony right there. And Oreo African is just in behind. I'm just not sure where on the racetrack positioning wise that driver is to try and find him, but we got about 1:20 left on the clock here, so we should be able to get this lap in. He is definitely up a little bit. That green says he's up on his personal best, which is a 2:07.72. He's got about a 10th right now as he comes up to the start finish line, so it's going to be a small improvement here. We'll see how many positions that'll grab him, if any, here when he comes across. It does grab him 1 here, that moves him up into 12th position on the track. So that was a good final lap there from Rigo in the Lamborghini. So moving up 1 spot there right at the end of qualifying. Love to see it. Alright, so let's start with our 2nd place driver here this week. We'll sit on board with MX Blocks at race start, and we'll let these guys take us through. So we're going to see a couple of different things here while we wait. Qualifying will take a couple minutes, of course, to finish up, and then race control will get ready to line these drivers up based off, of course, qualifying positioning, and then we're going to see a virtual safety car lap. So what happens is the guys will take off 1 at a time in order from our fastest qualifier to our slowest qualifier in the grid, and they'll be at a controlled speed via radio communication via race control. There's no actual pace car on the racetrack. That's what we call it, a virtual race car, pace car, pardon me. And then that's all controlled by race control via radio communication to each individual driver and the team. So there'll be single file for about 2 2/3 of the lap around the racetrack here, and we'll see a few different things happening in that time. We'll see the drivers moving right to left a little bit. They'll be trying to gain a little bit of temperature in their tires. They'll be accelerating and braking a little bit aggressively, trying to warm their brakes up. Of course, with the wet conditions, it's going to be a little more difficult to do that, so it's going to be interesting to see how these guys manage getting their cars prepared for green flag drop. So at about the 2/3 point, race control goes back over the radio to each individual team and car driver and tells them to, of course, line up double file in the order that they qualified in, and then of course they are asked to maintain a certain speed. Once race control is happy, as they're coming to the start-finish line with the lineup, they will drop the green flag. Now, there's no passing under green flag conditions. That'll renew a drive-through penalty right off the bat in race start. We've seen it happen time and time again throughout many league races here at Assetto Corsa. If you're speeding at that point in time as well, that could also earn you a drive-through penalty. Track limits could also earn you a drive-through penalty, or even worse, a stop-and-go 30-second penalty from race control. So everything is monitored via radio communication and race control built within the platform, and they don't mess around. You got to keep it right and tight here in the Assetto Corsa Competizione, so it really forces the drivers to be on point. And in the rain conditions, this is that much more difficulty factor added to, of course, the racing conditions for the drivers. Alright, so we've just received word from our co-host that he will be joining us at some point in time here throughout the broadcast, so we'll be looking forward to that. So we're just waiting for our 3-minute timer basically at this point now, and there it is. So at about 30 seconds left on that timer, it will allow us to drive back and get back on track with the selected driver that we've chosen to follow in spectator mode. And then of course we'll start to take that virtual safety car lap around the racetrack. So that will happen in 2 minutes and 38 seconds time. And then we go racing. It's going to be 31 cars to start the field here tonight. We love to see that. And look at that beautiful lineup of nose to tail, 2 wide, GT3 machinery here at Paul Ricard tonight. Oh, this is going to be fantastic. And I mean, the fans are out. They're here. You know, they're not deterred by the wet conditions. They want to see drivers go fast. Alright, we're just kind of checking on all our things here. We got our little server stats on the bottom left hand side of the screen, as you guys can see there. We're just monitoring our ping right now, and our latency numbers they could be better, but they could be worse. So we're about right in the middle of where we need to be for streaming wise anyways. Alright, and I don't think we have any platform warnings at the moment for audio. We are good. Alright, that's fantastic. Of course, we want to make sure the stream is ready for the amazing race that's about to undertake here for 1 hour's time. So 60 minutes here. 1 hour will be on the clock here. As you guys can see on the top right hand side of the screen, you can't see the clock because there's a banner covering it. We can fix that. Let's go like this real quick. There it is. Little Heidi right there. Now you can see it just above the Follow GT45 gaming symbol there. 1 hour on the clock there. So, my bad. Sometimes you just notice these things as things happen in front of you, you know? Alright, so you can see the cars bouncing up and down on the line here. So what we're seeing there, ladies and gentlemen, for those of us that are unsure what we're seeing there, that's the drivers putting their final race tunes in their race cars. Typically the rule of thumb is you want to leave it till about that 30-second mark. That way your tires don't have the full 2-minute time of just sitting on the track idle, cooling down, losing that temperature, right? So there's a little bit of method to the driver's madness, and that's why you're seeing all these cars bouncing up and down relatively in sequence in a sense, because everybody's waiting till like the last possible opportunity to get that finalized into the race cars. So here we go. In about 3 seconds time, we're going to see this rolling formation lap, this virtual safety car lap here, and then we're going to be underway. So about 3.5 minutes time here, we should be green flag racing as pole sitter Johnny B is going to lead us off, and he is defending champion here, coming into the fall series as well from Summer Series 2. So Bloxham is Summer Series 1 champion, and newcomer Lucas there in 3rd place. So that is our top 3 starters here tonight after qualifying with Paul Ricard in the wet, and it should be pretty interesting to see how all this plays out. Wet racing, it's not over till the checkered flag waves. I mean, plain and simple. We've seen some pretty crazy things, like I said, over the past seasons in the wet, and I don't suspect we're going to see anything different here tonight at some point in the race. So everybody's kind of just chilling right now, it seems like, here on the racetrack. So we are getting rumors that there is a mixture of tire compounds being used here tonight. We have some drivers have opted to use the slicks, the racing slick tires here on the track, and we have some talks of drivers using the wet tires here on the racetrack tonight. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that strategy plays out, and we are most certainly going to be asking our podium finishers what they opted to use here in on the race here tonight. Of course, if they tell us that information. They may not tell us that, of course, but hey, that's a part of the competition. So here we go. Johnny B right there leading things off. It's going to be MX Bloxham lined up beside him. It'll be Lucas to start row number 2, and I believe it's Hi My Name Is What is going to be lined up beside him. That's going to make up the first 2 rows of our grid here, and if those 4 drivers get clustered up into the first couple of corners, that is going to create an accordion effect. So these drivers have a lot of things going through their mind. They don't want to bottle up the back and get hit from behind, but they don't want to get into each other and not have the advantage of qualifying position on the racetrack to start the race off with. So we are getting very close here. When we start seeing them line up 2 by 2, ladies and gentlemen, that means we're getting within about 30 seconds of race start. So it should be pretty interesting. Rain racing here, Paul Ricard at Infinite Racing League, round 4 of 8. We're at the midway point of our season, and $150 in PlayStation Network gift cards on the line for our top 3 finishers this season. The mandate on that, of course, is the drivers have to finish 85% of the season to be eligible for the prizes, and you need to also finish 85% of each weekend's race to be qualified and eligible for round points. So lots on the line this season. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting close. Race control is going to take their time here. They're going to make sure that the conditions of the track are going to be good enough for these drivers. Safety is always of the utmost importance. You can already see them starting to file in 2 by 2 in behind our race leaders here. And there we go. There's the call coming from race control. And we're going to get them lined up 2 by 2. 31 cars deep in this field tonight. 32 cars deep in this field tonight. I think we had a late joiner here, potentially starting from pit lane. So here we go. Just waiting on word from race control when they're going to drop that green flag here. We're just about around to that start finish line here. Come around this very hard corner, very interesting radius corner. It's like I would say almost a 200-degree corner that takes us up to start finish straight here, and we're just waiting for race control here. So everybody needs to be very careful here. You do not want to get that early penalty. And we're green, and we're racing, ladies and gentlemen. Kick them tires, light them fires. We're racing. 3 deep, 4 deep through the mid-pack here, coming down into turns 1 and 2. And oh yes, it is race time here at Paul Ricard in the wet. And so far, Johnny B's holding on to that hole shot there. MX is going to settle in. We got a car off in the background there. Lucas is going to hold on to 3rd place here for the time being. All those live information timing screens are going to come up here as we continue to watch through the field. We don't see any piled up cars here off in the background in the camera there. We have a couple slow moving, but nothing major look like like happening there. We had a car go off. We got one bailing out there on the inside of the curb. That was the same car we seen going wide in the turn one there and having a little bit of a tough race start there, but 60 minutes on the clock and anything can happen in the wet. Oh, we got Tango 2 in the Ferrari having to take a bail out there as he goes sideways under braking there. That was about back in 10th place there as well. And it looks like everything's pretty settled here very early on up in the front pack, and that's typically what we do see here. So let's start moving through our field here. We're on 4th place driver. Hi, my name is, and he's got Little Mac right there and behind him in 5th place, and they're just about a second off in behind that front 3. Looks like Fluka right there in 6th place as well, closing in on that to turn that into a 3-way pack, and then at the mid pack we're 4 or 5 wide coming out of the backfield there. Let's go see what's happening back here. This looks like is where all the action's about to start taking place here as all the drivers start coming around. That was 2, 3, 4 deep. We got one shooting way out wide there. 2, 3, 4 cars out wide there having to take a runoff here. The advantage to the Paul Ricard circuit here, lots of runoff room for the drivers, so avoidable contact is a lot easier here. It just sucks for the drivers because it's bumpy out there. You can definitely throw out your, your toe, your cam or something like that on your race car as well, so you don't want to have to go out there if you don't have to, but definitely nice to be able to go out there and keep your car in one piece, and that really is the important thing. You get back on track and get back to racing again here. So let's keep going through our field here and see what we see. Oh, we got a heavily damaged car in there of what looks to be Ramen in 23rd position. There's some heavy front end damage on the 333 McLaren driver there in Racing Hobo there. As you can see him in 24th place here. He's just taking it easy there, being cool, being calm. We got Sila here in 27th. Big scratch down the left side, driver's side of this car here as well. Doesn't really seem to be affecting the car too much, I don't think. It's hard to say. We have Jakey just up in front there, I believe. We got Irish Jerry in pit lane getting repairs here. Rock Lee has some heavy damage here. Windshield is even showing some signs there, so that was a big hit there from Rock Lee, and he's just trying to get this car around the pit lane here right now. So some early woes for some of our drivers here, and here we go. We got Needhams, Rigo, Fluka, Hi, my name is, Little Mac, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th place here, kind of all battling it out here right now. And Needham's in the Sky McLaren here, currently sitting in 8th place, having a fairly fantastic race here very early on as well. And right now the target is that Lamborghini up in front of Rigo in 7th position. So it is game on here. Paul Ricard in the rain, and we got a nice little battle happening here just in behind as well. And it looks like Eris Rebos is involved there. We got Rapid Duck in the middle of that battle. Kazumitsu was the driver we see and have the mistake in the first corner early on in the race here, settling in back into 10th place there. So 5th to 10th place for that driver early on. Not too bad. Lots of time to make that up. But Needham's looking pretty strong here so far in 8th place, but definitely starting to feel some pressure. Rigo up and losing that position there as well. So now leading that front pack, we got some drivers in pit lane. Call me CJ there, looking like getting some work done as well. Ooh, big slide right there from Average Lad, who's currently sitting in 19th position and managed to avoid complications at the race start. But it looks like the car looks nice and clean. We don't see too much damage on this racing car, so that's what we love to see. And right now trying to chase down Delta Mike and the Ferrari up ahead. The gap is less than a second now. I don't know how much slipstream plays into factor here in the wet conditions. Now, obviously there's slipstream, it's definitely a factor, but whether or not it's stronger or weaker in the more humid, damp conditions due to lack of airflow because of the rain, I'm not 100% sure. That's actually something I'm gonna have to look into. That's a good question, isn't it, Chad? So yeah, it's hard to speculate. I mean, wet racing could very well be a lot more based off sheer pace. I'm sure slipstream plays some form of factor or another. An Average Lad grabbing another spot there in 18th. Obviously a driver stricken in having to go into pit lane there as well. So it looks like about a half dozen drivers that are getting early on trouble. Now whether or not that was car-to-car contact or just self-induced incidents due to close racing. 42 had a stop-and-go penalty there, so one of those looks like a penalty being cleared. So it is Rigo here in 8th place right now. He's got Rapid Duck very rapidly catching up to him here in behind in 9th place, and then Kazi in 10th there. So let's see if Rapid Duck is going to try and make something happen here on the Lamborghini driver. And what is it? Needham's just up ahead of them by about a second. Looks like I was going to say it looks like a second. That's what it is. So Rapid Duck is going to take a look up in the inside here. And that Lamborghini has the pace heading into the corner, so I don't know if Duck's going to get the position there on the apex, and he doesn't. He has to settle right back in behind the Lamborghini there, and you can see Kazi is really pushing her. You can see him floating wide in that corner, almost on every lap there. So at some point he's going to have to watch that, because race control may very well, start giving him warnings on the course as well. I don't know what I think there's a few more track limitation warnings in wet conditions, but I'm not 100% sure on that. We'll wait for Joe to get back. He can verify some of this for us. So it is Rigo here in 8th place. Rapid Duck is definitely looking to get around him here, but Rigo showing good pace and holding Rapid Duck off for the time being. So let's get back up front here. Let's go see what's going on. Still, nothing's really changed here. We have Johnny B still leading the way. He's got MX Bloxham right in behind, and Lucas here, sorry, in 3rd place, just in behind here as well. So number 36, Aston Martin. And basically it's separated by a second. First and second is separated by a second, second and third separated by a second, and there's a 1.2 second gap to RWB's Little Mac, who has actually plowed his way back from 8th up into 4th place here in that BMW, and very quickly closing the gap up on the front 3 here as well. Now Fluke and Hi My Name is in 5th and 6th place there as well, so Fluke has made up a couple of quick early positions here as well and starting to chase down that front pack. And Hi My Name is, he's still right there with him charging. Leaves and Needham's, Rigo and Rapid Duck right there. Looks like Rapid Duck and Rigo are still having a decent little battle there. Let's see if we can get back to that. And right now Rigo's still holding out strong against Rapid Duck there. Lucas here in 3rd place. We got Jakey in pit lane here, 22nd position. We got Butler Racing here in 16th position. We got the Lexus driver here, Oreo, in 25th, stop and go 32nd there. Oh, hate to see that penalty. Let's sit on board with a Little Mac here. I think there's a battle happening in the background there. Hi My Name is and Fluke is side by side. Fluke went out very, very wide in the corner there, and Hi My Name is not able to get the position, or succeeding position. Maybe in some contact we just didn't see there. But that battle is definitely re-engaged in behind there, as they're only separated by 0.2 seconds at the moment. And that Fluke is comfortably just in front of Hi My Name is there, and that's a Ferrari versus McLaren battle right there. So 2 similar style cars, but not the same cars. So interesting battle, and we see all these different GT3 cars fighting against each other here. And we're only 8 minutes into this race. We're seeing some pretty good battling, more towards the front part of the mid-pack than the back-pack this time. That's a little bit different than usual. So Little Mac losing just a little bit of pace off the front 3 there. Nothing changing up front. Let's head down into the mid-pack and see what we got going on here. We're in 17th place. Driver Franz, he's got a little bit of damage on that BMW. 42 clearing that stop and go penalty. And ooh, that was a big slide from Delta Mike in the Ferrari there behind it. I think he may have lost that car. He did. It looked like he went all the way around there, as he was right on the backside of this battle. And he's about 2.5 to 3 seconds off these guys here, so he definitely lost the car a little bit. He had to get it back on track. But Franz and Average Lad here now battling it out. We had a car coming out of pit lane there. He gave way. That was very good racing awareness right there by that driver as he was coming out of pit lane. And it is Average Lad's McLaren all over the backside of Franz's BMW here right now. And a little bit of damage on both these cars, but it doesn't look too significant. I think it's probably more cosmetic than it is physical damage right now on these racing cars. And oh, there we go. We got Irish, Jerry, and Oreo there having a battle, an exchange. I'm not sure they're up in front, but Irish Jerry moving up in front of Oreo, and that was interesting. That was interesting. Oh, there we go. And a nice little cutback right there. From the McLaren of Average Lad, and he does manage to gain the position on Franz, but that BMW power pulling him back out ahead here, and it's a drag race heading into the next corner. Who's going to go deeper on the brakes? Who's feeling more confident here as we come in side by side? Nobody wants to give this position up the straight here, and Franz does have the inside track, but if he's going to make this corner, he's going to want to move it over here. And Franz has positions of BMW power, one on the drag race there, and another cutback coming from the McLaren. And oh, this is a great battle right here between Franz and Average Lad for 17th and 18th position, but the McLaren's going to get the job done in the corner, and the BMW is just sitting there going, oh, good move, good move. So it's going to be 18th position for Franz, but now Delta Mike is back in this fight here. So that little battle between those two has brought our 19th place driver back into this battle. So we're going to sit here just a little bit longer and see if Delta Mike has anything for that BMW. So that was a good fight between those two. And, you know, Franz with a good defensive effort there, but average lad feeling comfortable in behind the wheel of that McLaren and definitely made it happen, but he made a mistake there. Franz closed right back up, so this battle is far from over. We got 31st place driver Irish Jerry just up in front of him here as well, so that blue flag car potentially coming back into the mix here as well, but great little battle happening here. And then we've got Joy Boy Returns just coming into the mix and behind here as well, but he is a lap down car, so things are definitely getting interesting in the mid pack, and those drivers with the early on troubles there are those blue flag cars that we're seeing early on in the race here. So looks like things have settled down here a little bit. Again, that BMW on the straightaway is going to be very strong. It's going to close up on the McLaren and probably pull away from the Ferrari a little bit, chasing in behind him there. But now that blue flag car has come into the equation here, he opts just to give these guys lots of room, go a little bit off the track there, try to let these guys go through. You can clearly see in the mirror that they're battling. Great respect right there by Jerry. And 323 of the drive-through cleared now as well. So lots of penalties being handed out. Franz going very wide there, and that's going to compromise that car's exit. And that's going to give a run now to Delta Mike here at 19th. And just as we're about to go see what else was happening, I feel like we should just sit here just for a moment longer and see if that Ferrari has a response to that mistake made by Franz and the BMW in front here. Good battling happening in the mid-pack here, and then we're going to see this. We're going to see a little pack racing happening here throughout this race now, as the pace of the drivers kind of puts them in little packs like this, little mistakes, stuff like that. So looking up the inside is the Ferrari driver. Franz knows he's there, gives him all the room in the world. A little bit of a mistake on the braking, and that's 2 times in a row he's lost that position in the same corner, so struggling with that corner. Clearly is our 19th place driver here right now. All right, let's keep going through the field and see what we're seeing. We got Cletus here in 13th. He's been... car looks very clean, crisp, doesn't see any damage on that car whatsoever, no signs of contact on this car, so he's playing a cool, calm, collected here right now, sitting in 13th place. I believe started in 10th or 11th place, so he's not really, I mean, he's down a couple positions, but he's not down, you know, they're right there. McCrank is only a second ahead. Eris Rebos, our last weekend's winner, is only 2 seconds ahead, and then Kazi is only 6 seconds ahead, so everybody's still within reach very early on in this race for him. We've got Guardian here in 27th position, and he just, a little bit of a touch there between him and I believe that was Call Me CJ. So Call Me CJ essentially unlapping himself there, and I'm not sure what was going on there. A little wibble wobble there, and again, that didn't look like it was significant contact. A little bit of contact. There's a little dent, some denting there in the front end, but not sure. I think a little mistake was made there, potentially by Call Me CJ, or just braking a little bit earlier there. And Guardian came in a little hot and got him in the rear end there, so that was interesting. Got Tango 2 here in 14th position, and again, wet conditions, very difficult conditions for these drivers here tonight, but it is Tango 2, and he's in 14th place here right now, so hasn't really lost or gained anything too much. If anything, he may have gained a couple spots, I think, since qualifying. We have Sabajin in 15th position now. I believe this driver started right around 20th place. You can see some war wounds on the front end of this car here. Currently up, I believe, 5 positions where he started at Butler Racing, exactly where he started, it looks like, in 16th position there in the Aston. Delta Mike here in 18th position, so we've seen him get around Franz there in that one corner, and Franz hasn't been able to respond back in the BMW since the Ferrari has found his way around. So Joe Boy returns, he's in a Ferrari here as well in 24th position currently. Got Fluka up into 6th place, so we're starting to get back up into our front pack here. It's been a little while since we've been keeping an eye on things up here. We got Hi My Name Is just up ahead about 2 seconds, and Needham's in the Sky McLaren's up into 7th place here. Rapid Duck's up into 8th place, so Rapid Duck's actually finally found his way around Rigo at some point in the race and started to put a little bit of a gap, 2 seconds on the Lamborghini driver in 9th place, and I believe that's Kazimitsu in behind Rigo there as well. So still lots of very close racing here in the front pack. We got Lucas up in 3rd, we got Johnny B in 4th, Little Mac in 2nd, so that blocks him up in the lead here, I believe. Johnny B must have made a little mistake somewhere along the way and lost a couple positions here as well. And again, rain racing here, ladies and gentlemen, is just too hard to really predict what's going to happen in the race, because all it takes is one little mistake, and that little mistake can turn into a very big mistake when you have wet track conditions involved. So Johnny B started the race in first place, currently sitting in fourth place here right now, and finds himself chasing Lucas there in third place. So an interesting little turn of events up front here. We've got GLR Seal in 22nd place. Haven't seen too much of him here yet so far. We got Eris Rebos in 11th position. Hunting for that top 10, but the top 10 is about 3 seconds up ahead of him here right now. Rapid Duck in 8th place. He is watching a Needhams and Fluke battle right now for 6th and 7th place up in front of him there. And let's see if we can get into a different camera angle here. Let's jump on board with Rapid Duck here just for a couple minutes while he is just sitting behind a Needhams and Fluke here. Now these two are battling up in front. That's good for the driver that's chasing, right? Because that's is time lost to both those cars battling, but time gained to the car that was not battling. And you can see he's pulled right up to the backside almost of that Sky McLaren up in front of him here. So Rapid Duck is just slowly but surely really those two drivers in up front. And I mean, that was only looked like what, a 1 or 2 corner battle between the Needhams and Fluke there, and they cost, I mean, Rapid Duck closed up a second just like that on him. So, and he closes up again a little bit there into that corner, and I mean, he's right there, he's right on it. Needhams, the pressure is on now, and he is all over the bumper of that Sky McLaren. So here we go, let's take a look as Rapid tries to set up a move here for what's going to be 7th and 8th place, and Needhams goes in deep here, and Rapid Duck is a great driver, so it's a great driver to be on board with here as well. And you can see the water pooled up there in some parts of the racetrack as well, so this is kind of what the drivers are dealing with here. Windshield wipers are moving pretty good here on the car. You can see he's really having to pedal the car a little bit. He's really fighting that steering wheel as the car and the tires, of course, are hitting these puddles on the racetrack, and he's working hard to try and catch a Needhams, but Needhams is doing a great job of really not allowing Rapid Duck to get a nose in anywhere to try and make the battle happen either. So this is some great racing right here up in the front 10 on the racetrack. I mean, third place is just going around the corner up ahead there. So that's how close it is. That's all it takes. One little mistake, you can lose 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 positions depending on where and what kind of mistake you just made. We got Fluke getting out really wide there, and you can see there's no time gained by taking a wide entry or exit there. And that's allowed the Needhams and Duck to really close up. But this is nose to tail 3 wide here. We don't know what's going on behind here. We have blue flag car. Eris Rebos up in the 9th place here now, so he's gotten around Cletus and McCrank as well, so he just grabbed 2 positions now in the top 10 here. So this is great racing right here. It's a great view here from our camera crew there, and back out to leaving them do what they do best. So Kazumitsu here, again, started in 5th place, struggling a little bit in the wet conditions potentially here, down into 13th place currently, but oh boy, looking like maybe had just a little bit of an incident recently. That car is dragging that front clip along the racetrack here. That's definitely going to be creating a little bit of drag for that driver. He's in behind, looks like Rigo in the Lamborghini there in 12th place, and I don't think it was a car-to-car contact there. You can see him dodging into pit lane there, so he's going to go get that car fixed up, and that's unfortunate there for Kaz. He's just having a tough night. So Johnny B, sitting in 4th place here, was the race leader at one point in time. We got some scratches on the side of that McLaren, so maybe a potential lead battle happening there, a little bit car-to-car contact, or maybe he just made a mistake in a corner. We can really only speculate, but definitely something happened to Johnny B there. There's a little bit of damage on that racing car, showing signs of it anyways, and Hi My Name is really tracking in on him here. So we've got Bloxham in the lead of this race. He's got Little Mac in 2nd place, very close in behind, 0.6 of a second, and Lucas still in 3rd place, so hasn't changed anything there as Lucas just trying to manage his race right now, or these top 10 guys. Hi My Name is definitely tracking on Johnny B, so I'm starting to wonder if the damage or whatever caused Johnny B to lose 1st place there. Whatever it was, we got a yellow flag up ahead of these drivers here now, so that means somebody up ahead is off track. I don't have It was just up ahead of our racing leaders here, and I think it was Bombastico there as a blue flag car is coming in the mix, so he probably just pulled off the track to let the race leaders through. Yeah, that is exactly what we're seeing there. So that's why the yellow came out, just a slow moving car. It's just natural instinct of the game. We got McCrank here in 11th position. We got Racing Hobo here in 19th. We've got Sila in 18th position. We got Irish Jerry in 31st. So all 31 drivers are still on track. That's pretty impressive. We've got Rock Lee here in 28th position. We've got Ramen here in 25th. We've got Needhams in Sky McLaren sitting in 6th place here. Has gotten around Fluka. So Fluka's lost that position to Needhams here and dropped down to 7th place. And now Needham's getting around that blue flag car. Of course, the rest of the group following. And he's just going to pull over and lift off that throttle and let those 3 cars go through. That's a great job there by Bombastico. Ooh, and a big slide coming through turn 1 there for the Sky McLaren and Needhams, and definitely setting it around the racetrack right now. Obviously in a rhythm, feeling a groove, and has very quickly opened up the gap on Fluka by 1.3 seconds. Rapid Duck is closing in very quickly there on Fluka as well. We got Call Me CJ in 29th position, and has been an interesting race for this driver from what we've seen so far. Average Lad is up into 15th position, so slowly but surely just kind of picking the way through the field here. Is this driver right now in the McLaren, and sometimes cool, calm, and collected can do you well in a race. We've got Rigo here in 12th place. McCrank is about 4 seconds up the road, and Sabajin's closing in. So Sabajin is now sitting in 13th position. So I did say at the beginning of the broadcast, top 10 is not out of the realm of possibility for that driver, and he's definitely starting to track in on it here. So. Oh wow, okay, we got another lead change here, so now we've got Little Mac up in the lead of this race here, so the BMW driver now has taken charge here. So Little Mac has our 3rd race leader here now tonight that I'm aware of anyways, and Lucas is now in 2nd position here in the Aston, and Bloxham and Johnny B are in 3rd and 4th place, and Hi My Name Is still right there in 5th. So 3 seconds from Lucas to Bloxham, and then it's literally nose to tail between him and Johnny B, and then it's only half a second from them to 4th place. So very, very close here right now up in the front parts of the field, and we're just about at the halfway point here. We got just a little over 37 minutes remaining in the race, so very long run for these drivers yet in these wet conditions. I'm sure we got Jakey up into sitting in 22nd position here on the racetrack right now. I believe had to make a stop for some damage potentially, I'm not sure. Butler Racing is up 2 spots here, I believe, now up into 14th position, is starting to track around the racetrack here very well. Oriel African is in 27th position. I didn't mean to push the button there, but apparently they want us to see the race leader for some reason. And, well, let's go take a look. So it's RWB Racing. Little Mac here right now. Currently leading the charge here, Paul Ricard, at the 37 minutes remaining mark of this race. So Lucas is in 2nd place, and it is about 2.1 seconds now. So Little Mac is starting to open the gap up a little bit there on the rest of the field. We've got Franz in 16th position, and he's got Irish Jerry, our 31st place driver, just in behind, so he's probably just gotten around that car. Cletus is back up into 9th position. So whoa, not sure what we're seeing there, but Cletus just had a moment, and I'm not sure who the other driver was there, but we definitely seen 2 cars involved there, and that is that's a wrecked race car right there. I mean, that wheel is absolutely buckled over to the left there. I mean, this driver is he's stuck. He's steering left here. He might need tracks to come and get him there. He's going to need a rescue potentially, and that was, I don't know what happened there, but boy, that looked like a massive hit as he was zipping across the track into the wall there. And we did see a secondary vehicle involved in that incident as well. Who that was, I have no idea. We didn't catch who the car was, but definitely a big incident there, and that was a big hit right there for Colby CJ. And boy, that just seems to be the way that his day has gone today, doesn't it? Tango 2 in 20th position here. wasn't 14th last time that we were on this driver, so I don't know if it was just a damage stop or what's going on there. But Rigo in 19th place here now too, so it seems like quite a few of the drivers are having their own various forms or struggles here in the rain, and that doesn't surprise me. But Sabajin now up into 11th position. He's battling with McCrank right now for that top 10, and I mean, he definitely took a look there. He tried to get positioning on McCrank, and he just can't quite get a nose in there. He's going to tuck back in, and he's just going to continue to settle right in behind this 10th place driver. But Sabajin is starting to feel the groove here at Paul Ricard right now in the rain, and he is most certainly applying some pressure here on our 10th place driver McCrank. And this is a Ferrari versus McLaren. The Ferrari is the attacking car here right now, and he's looking for a big run right there. He takes quite a bit of a different line. He took a much wider entry into that corner, trying to cut the apex a little bit more to get the power down a little bit earlier, and he is really starting to try and put the pressure on here. So we're going to stick with this just for a moment here. I mean, his car looks a little worse for wear for sure. I mean, it looks a little beat up here, but clearly it's not affecting that pace right now, and when it comes down to this battle with McCrank, and he's going to get a nose in there. So here we go, up this long straightaway. The Ferrari does have the position coming into the corner. He's going to move it right over, and he actually gets the pass done right before they come into the braking zone here for the corner. And can he maintain it is the next question. Yes, he can. It's going to be Sabajin up into the top 10 here as he makes his way around McCrank. And ooh, a little bit of a wide corner there from McCrank, and that's just going to hurt that time there, trying to get back in the fight for that 10th place position. We got Delta Mike here in 15th position, and moving and grooving right now, just chilling. We got Joy Boy returns, stop and go penalty for number 215, and we've seen some penalties handed down here from race control today, that's for sure. So Fluka here now is in 8th place. Rapid Duck is up in 7th. Van Needham's is up in 6th. They're starting to spread out a little bit. Aries Ribos is in 9th place and currently sitting how far behind Fluka? About 5 seconds. So things are getting interesting. We got Seal here in 22nd place, and we're not even halfway through this race yet. This has been a lot of position changing, a lot of battling, a lot of drivers making those mistakes, and then some of those mistakes look like they caused some damage on the race car. So we got Kazi Mitsu here, who started in 5th place in the race and has had a tough day on the racetrack here himself today as well, currently sitting in 20th position here. Johnny B was leading the race and of course qualified on pole position, still sitting up in the front end of this race here right now and sitting in 4th place. We've got a stop and go penalty there for Average Lad there, and that's a stop and go 3 seconds as well. So race control is definitely watching closely here tonight. Hey, how's it going, Nolan? I really appreciate you, my dude. So it is Johnny B, our defending champion here, number 1 on that car, and there's a huge opportunity for him here tonight with JP not in the field, so he's really looking to capitalize on maximum points. But boy oh boy, he's finding himself in some tough company today, as Hi My Name is going to get the job done going into the corner there, and I'm starting to wonder if that damage on Johnny B's car is affecting his car's performance just a tiny little bit here. But down into 5th place there now is Johnny B, and Hi My Name is going to move up around. So MX blocks him here in 3rd place, and he has 5.6 seconds to the 2nd place driver Lucas, and he's about 7.5 seconds to our race leader Little Mac. So Little Mac is again just continuing to work on building the gap on that Aston Martin driver behind. Hi My Name is tracking. He's 1 second in behind, blocks him here, and it seems like he's starting to gain on that driver. But Johnny B is again starting to look like he's pushing there, trying to maintain on How My Name Is. And we had GLR Seal just come out of pit lane there, and again, great racing awareness by him as he checked up to let the front little pack go through before he came out of pit lane. So it's McCrank here in 11th place, and our number 113 McLaren there had a good battle with Savage Jim. He's starting to lose pace with the 10th place driver there. We got Racing Hobo currently sitting in 16th position there. He's just trying to let Little Mac through there right now. You can see that wasn't a mistake made by him. He realized that the leader was right in behind him, and he just didn't want to hold hold the leader up, so he was just getting out of the way of the leader. And this is a tough situation for Lucas now because the race at Oval is coming up to a positional car, so Lucas really needs to make his way around this guy as quickly as possible because, again, those two positional cars are most certainly entitled to their battle. And Lucas is going to go right in between the two of them here now, and he's going to try and, of course, work on getting around Kazimitsu as quickly as possible next so he can get back into trying to track down Little Mac. But Kazimitsu clearly has good paces. He did qualify 5th in the race, so it's not going to be an easy task. We got Sila here in 14th position. Irish Jerry is still rocking and rolling here in 31st. We got Rock Lee in 27th. Had a great race last weekend. Had a good start to the race here. It looks like having some race struggles here tonight, as many of our drivers seem to be in much of the same boat. We got Ramen here in 24th place, and we are at the halfway point of the race there. Officially it says race control, and penalties are being handed out and served here and getting cleared, and it's really hard to keep up on it. But Jakey's now got a stop and go 30-second penalty as well. We got 33 with a stop and go penalty for speeding in pit lane as well. Race control is busy tonight. Alright, our Sky McLaren driver at Needham's here is in 6th place, 3.2 seconds in behind 5th place driver Johnny B. That's the next positional car up ahead of the Sky McLaren. And of course Rapid Duck is about 5 seconds in behind, so a little bit of a cushion there now on Rapid Duck, which is always good, knowing that he's a very quick driver as well. We have Call Me CJ right here in 28th position. He's still giving her mad. He's had a tough day out there, but he's still giving her points. We got Rigo here in 15th position, and I believe that was Little Mac, the race leader we just seen in the background there, or in the shot there. It most certainly is. Lucas is, looks like he's starting to close in on the race leader, so maybe traffic's starting to get a little bit into play here, but it's Bombastico here in 30th position. There we go. Let's talk, as we're talking about this, I mean, here we go. Nose to tail is 2nd and 1st place. It's Little Mac and Lucas here. And I just want everybody to remember that this is officially Lucas's first ever Assetto Corsa Competizione PlayStation 5 race. Literally, he got his PlayStation 5 yesterday. So, pretty impressive for his first experience here in the wet. And right now, it is a battle as he gets the job done on Little Mac there. That was a great battle between Lucas and Little Mac, and I highly doubt that this battle is over because Little Mac has had great pace all race long. And so Lucas now leading this race, and that's our 4th race leader, ladies and gentlemen, this race so far. Oh, I love wet races at Infinite Racing League. They are so unpredictable. We've got Apex Jakey here in 22nd position, and he's going to stop and go 30-second penalty. Still stacked up. Oh, poor Jake. We've got Delta Mike with one there as well. I mean, race control, I don't even know how they're keeping up right now. These guys are making them work. Butler Racing up at the 12th position here. I mean, he's in no man's land right now. He's just lapping. Oreo African here in 28th position. I believe that's Sabajin in behind there, and currently sitting in 9th place now is Sabajin. And here we go, 2nd place driver Little Mac. He's got Kazimitsu, who's kind of really starting to put pressure on the leaders here. I mean, Kazimitsu is stuck in a tough spot there. That's his lap down right there. Like, he probably wants that lap back most likely, as Little Mac and Lucas are now coming up to more racing lap traffic, and I believe it's in the form of Apex Guardian here this time, and he just gets right out of the way. Kazimitsu is going to go right around through there as well, and that was a great job by Guardian just to allow the leaders to go through there. And great racing awareness by from what I can tell by our lap traffic here so far. And then we've got Bloxham in 3rd place there. He's 3.9 seconds in behind 2nd place, so it's about 4.5 seconds to the race lead from our 3rd place driver. And he's got Hi My Name is only 1 second in behind him, so we are not done with this yet here tonight. It's Franz here in 13th position, Cletus in pit lane there. We've got Guardian in 25th. We've got Tango here in 18th position. We got Sabajin in 9th place, and Fluka in 10th, and Fluka is about 1.5 seconds in behind, so this could potentially be a battle for position at the end of the race. We know Fluka is a pacey driver, we know Sabajian's a pacey driver, Eris Ceribos is in 8th place, just up ahead of these two, 6.1 seconds up ahead, again last week's winner at Indy. So the usual suspect here up in the top 10 right now. Delta Mike here in 23rd position, Joey Boy returns at 21st, we have Fluka track in there, we were just sitting on those two, nothing happening there at the moment. We've got GLR Seal here in 17th position here, doing a pretty good job. Aries Rebos, pardon me, sitting in 8th place, 9 seconds in behind Rapid Ducks. So having a pretty good race here again, up in the top 10. And you know what? You don't need to win races to win championships, ladies and gentlemen. And this driver is a prime example of that. Actually, unfortunately, I don't have the point standings in front of me, but this driver's resilience, consistency, and just ability to manage to continue to put himself up into the top 10 position week in and week out has really not put him out of this championship fight yet. So you do not need to win championships. That's all there is to it. Consistency really is important in endurance racing. Rapid Duck about to set up into 7th place. He's 6.5 seconds in behind 6th place driver Sky McLaren and Needhams, and he has again the Porsche driver just in behind, so Jakey clearing his stop, no penalty there as well. So Kazimitsu here in 16th has lost a little bit of touch with the race leaders up in front of him there. So Johnny B is currently sitting in 5th place. He's 4 seconds in behind Hi My Name Is, who's tracking blocks him. So with a little over 24 minutes remaining, far from over, things can change. Again, race car management is always important in these races. So we'll see who wasted their race car early on and who saved their race car in the end as well, in a sense. So it's going to be interesting to see how the next 24 minutes of racing unfold here. Racing Hobo's doing a really good job here, currently sitting up at 19th position, so holding a top 20 spot right now on the track. Silas in 13th. I think this could be a best finish for this driver so far in my experience with this driver, if it stands where it is at the moment. Franz is less than a second in behind and starting to put pressure on as well, and Sila does have Ramen out in front that is currently working on trying to get in front of him as well. Irish Jerry currently sitting in 29th position. We got Rock Lee here in 26th. We've got Ramen there, and you can see he has lead lap car up in behind, and at this point should be really giving way to these two cars. I think they're within they're within a half second in behind here. At this point it's time. Ooh, that driver made a mistake right there just to give that up. Yeah, and that's all you gotta do is just let off the throttle a little bit, just pull out of the line a little bit. Literally, it takes half a second or a second, and you just tuck right in behind him. Use him as slipstream. I mean, that's an ideal situation as a driver is having an unfortunate race and being put down a lap down. That's always the best situation. So was looking for a safe spot potentially to do it as well. Maybe we got Average Lad here in 20th place. Been an up and down battle for this driver here today, but still holding top 20 position. Rigo's in 15th, much of the same, been a little bit of an up day, a down day, and currently he's sitting right in the middle of the field here, right in 15th position of this, I believe it was 31 car grid that we started with. And Go Luke says John. El Bombastico here in 30th place, and he's actually got the race leaders starting to track down in behind him here, who is that's Cletus and Bombastico. Cletus is going around Bombastico there right now, so going to get a lap back in a sense on from that driver, but we're just going to stick with our Lamborghini driver here as our race leaders are coming around. This is just all par for the course. I mean, remember, we have different skill level of drivers here in the series as well, right? We got pros, pro-ams, AMs, and essentially, I guess, brand new and learning drivers, rookies. I just hate the term. I wish we could figure out a better term for that, but in any case, that's what it is. But Bombasco does a great job. Lets those two get through. I mean, first and second place are only separated by less than a second, 0.7 seconds, 3/4 of a second separating this lead right now from Lucas and Little Mac. And Little Mac. I mean, first race of this season back here too as well. We haven't seen Little Mac in a couple of seasons, so looking very good here in that BMW here today as well. So we've said it all season long. We've had a lot of new faces on the podium, and potentially we're going to have 2 new ones here again on the podium tonight. But still a lot of racing left. 21 minutes remaining, and there is some high-class racers definitely trying to chase these 2 down. So it's gonna be spicy. It's gonna be interesting to see. Got Jake here in 22nd position from Apex Sim Racing as well, getting it a little bit deep there as he goes around the corner, but he keeps it underneath of him. That's the important thing. We got Butler Racing here in 12th position. We got Oreo African in 27th. We got Little Mac, our second place driver, trying to shake that leader down. Lucas is opening up a little bit of a gap on him here. We got Franz in 14th position with Sila, and looks like Sila's just trying to work around Irish Jerry up ahead there as well. We've seen 2 cars side by side. We got one way out in the North 40 off the racetrack there. I'm not sure who that was, but definitely went for quite a wide line through that corner. We got Cletus here up in the 30th position. We got Guardian here in 25th place. Tango 2 is in 17th position here so far. Sabijin still holding on to 9th place. Fluke is still tracking, 2.8 seconds in behind. Losing just a little bit of touch with Sabijin there right now. We got Delta Mike here in 23rd. Joe Boy in 21st. Irish Jerry just in behind there, and a couple other cars there as well. Sila in 13th place, so we're definitely mixed up in position on the racetrack here right now as far as where these drivers are. We got Eris Rebos, pardon me, here in 8th position. Rapid Duck is in 7th, and that gap is 10 seconds, so Rapid Duck's been doing a good job at managing the gap between last week's winner, and he's actually closing up the gap a little bit here on the needles as well. That was about 5.6 or 6.5 last time we were here, and it's now down to, well, 4 seconds there. Is that was Garden we seen go off track there, and Rapid Duck just tucks right in behind. He's going to use as much of that car for slipstream as he can, and he's just going to move on up into the inside position there to get around that car. So great job there by those two. Kazimitsu here in 16th position, and it's 3rd place driver blocks him in behind here. So the gap is about 5.5 seconds from 3rd place to 1st place. Hi, my name is sitting still right there, tucked in behind. MX blocks him less than a second. Johnny B's tracking right there. He is about, where are we at there? 5 seconds in behind those two right now. So we've seen some pretty incredible drives from some of these drivers so far this season. Well, are we going to see another one here tonight? It's Johnny B in 5th. We got Bloxham in 3rd. And officially 5.1 seconds from Little Mac there in 2nd place. But the blue flag traffic now out of the way, and these guys can open it back up a little bit here and continue to push on up the racetrack. McCrank here in 11th place, 2 seconds in behind Fluka, so starting to track a little bit here. Fluka may be under pressure from McCrank here for 10th position, as Fluka is really starting to lose pace with Savagin up in front. We've got Racing Hobo now up into 18th position, so slowly but surely making his way up through the field, and he's in behind 12th place driver Butler Racing there. Sila 13 in 13th position here right now, and the nearest positional car is about 7 seconds in behind, and that is Franz Meister in that 91 BMW. So just got to keep it nice and clean here for the next 17.5 minutes, and that driver will have himself a pretty nice finish, potentially the best finish of the season, I think, for that driver this season. Got Irish Jerry here in 27th position. Who else we got rocking and rolling? There he is, Rock Lee. That's the car we've seen there a little while ago. It's a very great looking car. There's some great, simple, good color schemes right there to that car, and definitely the only one that looks like it. Sitting in 26th position here on the racetrack, we got Robin in 24th. What else we got rocking and rolling here? Needham's 5.5 seconds in behind 5th place driver Johnny B, and 4.2 seconds ahead of Rapid Duck. So again, maintaining the pace here so far, doing a pretty good job. Got Average Lad here in 19th position, still holding down top 20 position here so far on the racetrack. Got Rigo in 15th, and number 13 Lamborghini here currently sitting in 15th. and the next positional car is quite a ways away. So again, much of the same thing for a lot of these drivers right now. They don't have anybody really putting an immediate pressure in behind them. They just need to keep their head down, really focus on their laps, don't miss their marks, get around the lap traffic efficiently and safely, and maybe with any luck they can catch the drivers up in front, but kind of in no man's land right now. So let's get back to the race lead here. And I mean, this is close. We're half a second separating, not even 0.3 right now, separating Lucas and Little Mac. He's Lucas 36 on Gran Turismo 7. I can't help it. I'm very familiar with this driver, and behind the wheel is Aston Martin. He comes from my community, so we know a ton about this driver, and he's definitely showing some real life racing experience here in this Aston Martin right now. Let me tell you what, this is his first ever race on PlayStation 5. This is of course a competition, and he's in some elite company here. So it just shows a sign of how well that real life racers actually really do adapt to ACC. They immediately just feel comfortable on this platform, and of course obviously his real racing knowledge probably does help him with understanding how to set these cars up a little bit, and he's been practicing hard here over the last 30 hours to get ready for this race, and it shows on track with as he's leading the race here right now. And it's a 1 second gap to Little Mac, who's also a GT7 friend as well here from the community. We know him quite well as well, so we love to see it. Yeah, we definitely love to see it. We're a pretty smiling commentator right now in the booth, but there's lots of time left. 15 minutes to go. Bloxham's only, Bloxham's only 5.5 seconds behind. You can never count MX Bloxham out of any race. You can never count Johnny B out. You can never count Rapid Duck out. I mean, these guys are fast for a reason. We got Jakey here in 22nd place. We got Butler Racing in 12th place, and he's having a good season here himself as well. Little Mac here, first race of the season, is showing some great pace in that BMW. Franz in 14th, trying to track down Sila here, 5.6 seconds. Not really seeming to gain or lose there right now. Cletus in 29th position, so I think we're down to 31, so we're down to 30 cars left on the track. So we do have one finally officially retired behind pit wall here today. We've got Guardian in 25th position. We got Tango 2 here currently rocking and rolling in 17th. We got Sabijin in 9th place, and I mean, he's opened up a very comfortable gap on Fluke in behind, and I mean, he's kind of closing in on Eris Ribos a little bit here. So does he have enough time? 14 minutes on the clock. I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible. Delta Mike currently running in 23rd place here. He's been one of the drivers definitely in trouble with some of the penalties that have been happening here on the racetrack tonight. Race control has not been very forgiving, even with the rain on the racetrack. Joey Boy returns in 21st place. Fluka right there with McCrank looked like McCrank gave him a little bit of pressure there. Now Jakey's going to stick his nose in there as a blue flag car as well. He's going to try and get some positioning back on the 11th place driver McCrank, but McCrank is nope, McCrank got back around Jakey doing just letting him go by there. But a good battle right here for 10th and 11th place, and we were wondering if McCrank was going to track and catch Fluka or not. So it does seem to be it does most certainly seem to be the case. We're trying to get the right view here. There it is. So this is kind of what it looks like behind the purple and pink Ferrari of Fluka here. You can see McCrank is about a second in behind, a little less right now. And then of course you got Jakey and that Aston Martin 22nd place, just in behind them as well. And that Aston Martin's a little rocket ship in a straight line, so it could definitely add something to this battle, but he's just settled in behind here right now. McCrank is very gently in the corner, going to close in there, and there we go. He's right back on the rear bumper of this driver here. Is he going to take a look? Can he get the run is the bigger question. It seems like the Ferrari just has a little more give and go power than the McLaren does, and Fluke is going to go full defense here. Fluke is having none of this, and McCrank is just going to back out of that there and go, all right, you take it. So Fluke currently sitting in 10th and definitely feeling some pressure from 11th place in behind here. Let's keep going through here. We got JLR Seal in 20th place. Aris Rebos, again, last week's winner in Indy in 8th place, and Sabashin is definitely tracking in. Rapid Duck is closing in on the Needhams here too. Rapid Duck has stepped it up a level here. It was 4.7, now it's 2.2. Sorry, 2.5 currently as it sits right now. So 7th and 6th place, definitely potentially about ready to be challenged here at some point before the end of this race as well. Kazimitsu's here in 16th position. No immediate positional battles anywhere near him. Johnny B's in 5th place, closing in on 2 blue flag cars, which are separating him and 4th place driver Hi My Name is, and it's about 5-second separation there. We got Bloxham here in 3rd place, and what's that gap right now? 5.4 seconds to Little Mac. He's about 6 seconds away. Looks like Choco just jumped in here, so Choco almost missing the whole broadcast here, so just give me a second to turn on his audio chat. We'll get chatting with our boy Choco here as well. Welcome in, Mr. Choco. Better late than never.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do apologize for the tardiness, but
well, take a look, and tell me what you see, and we'll try to catch up to speed as much as we can. Yeah.
you got. I'm not live, am I?
Oh yeah, you're hot.
Oh, we're live. All right, so we got viewers. All right, Hello, everybody. Let's get ready for some chocolatainment. Anyway, looks like we got a nice little race going on here, man. Looks like Lucas in the front. Is he new?
He comes from my community, actually. It's his first race. He bought his PlayStation 5 about 48 hours ago.
Woo-wee. So I go, oh, jeez. It looks like he couldn't wait to get on board. But, dang, he's, let's see what his times is here. I can't tell right now. But, did he have a good qualifier? He's definitely got a good race going.
Qualified third, yeah. He qualified third against right in behind Bloxham and Johnny B. I mean, Johnny B started leading the race here, obviously from pole position. I'm not sure what happened, but he definitely had something happen there from first place. He had a little bit of damage on the side of his racing car. I don't know if it was car-to-car contact or if he just made a mistake. You know, in wet conditions, it's really hard to determine. And he dropped back to 4th place, and he's kind of been sitting in 5th place since. Bloxham took over the race lead at that point, and something had happened to him as well. Maybe just made a little mistake, and Little Mac and Lucas had gone around. Little Mac took the lead over, and then Lucas slowly but surely kind of reeled him in, made a move, and Little Mac's been chasing him ever since. So it's been a good race.
I see Johnny's in 7th. That might hurt him there for lead points. But how's his race going? Because we got a lot of McLarens too up there in the front.
Yeah, Johnny B seems to be sliding. So again, I feel like he just made a small mistake here again. I think really,
gotcha.
I think this race is really being determined by exactly that. A lot of small mistakes, and because the front pack has been relatively close all race long, the top 10 hasn't been separated by a whole ton really all race long. You know, those little mistakes are costing positions for these drivers, I think.
Wow.
So Needham's now up into P5 with that mistake from Johnny B there, and the crank coming out of pit lane there. That's always an iffy situation here at Paul Ricard, but everybody handles it well. Rapid Duck, I mean, he was 7 seconds in behind in Needham's with about 15 minutes left on the clock, and he's really put the pressure on, but he makes a mistake there, and he's got that down to under 2 seconds. So, I mean, you know, potential battle there between Duck and Needham's there as well.
Duck goes a little wide there.
Yeah, he had a little issue there for sure.
Oh, definitely cutting there. He probably get some track cuts there. But him and his barrels, looks like Johnny got by his barrels there. And who is that coming on next to Johnny there? Can't tell. Salagine.
Irish Jerry and Rock Lee in the mix of all this happening here too right now. So there's lots happening on the racetrack right now. We got Average Lad here in 20th place, and he's been just kind of bouncing around between 15th and 20th all race long. Really, Rigo has been up and down. I think he started just up in the top 10. He's down in 13th here right now, kind of just doing his thing. You know, he's just had this race. I think he's had a little bit of complication, but nothing too major. Bombastico definitely has had some complications today. Call Me CJ's had a pretty rough race today. I think there's about a half dozen drivers that had self-induced incidents and very early going-ons in the race. Past, of course, our race start looked pretty clean for the most part. Kazimitsu's had a pretty tough race here as he's been slowly but surely kind of sliding back a little bit, but he's been managing his position for probably about the last 20 or 30 minutes at this point now. Other than that, you know, the battle's been pretty precise, and drivers have just kind of been preying on opportunity for mistakes, it seems like, for the most part here today. So
awesome, man. I mean, I'm sorry I missed half of this race here, but looks like it's definitely been competitive. Looks like everybody up here is pretty tight, man. Especially in this track under these conditions here, it's pretty much about patience and maintaining that distance, but also staying within that car length, not too far back, but definitely going to test your patience today here. You know, you put the car in the wrong spot, it's definitely going to send you. And I'm not sure if these guys are running slicks, wets, or whatnot. Don't know how heavy the rain is. I'm not in the car, but not sure how the grip is on slicks on these conditions.
It's a mixed field today, but actually it's
Oh,
it's a mixed field. It's slicks and rain tires here in the race today. That's kind of been the consensus here from the Discord chatter. Of course, some of the racers coming in and giving us those tips right pre-race there as well. But I do know for a fact that I'm about 99% sure our race leader currently is on racing slicks.
awesome, awesome. So that'll be Lucas. Wow, is he the only Aston in the field?
No, Butler Racing and Apex JK also. So we do have 3 in the field here today. Yeah,
So
JK in
we
pit
got 3
lane.
boys repping.
Butler Racing now moved himself up into the top 10. And again, rain racing, ladies and gentlemen, you just never know what's going to happen. We got Little Mac. Yeah, I mean, Little Mac is 2.5 seconds in behind Lucas. And I mean, Little Mac, again, he hasn't been, he's been away for a while, a couple seasons now, and back for a race here this season and looking in true ACC form like Little Mac always does, too, right? So,
Absolutely.
familiar racer here with IRL, and we know him quite well over in GT7 community as well. So, having a fantastic race here today, and this driver only races with one leg, ladies and gentlemen, so it just gives you a little more contribution to what this guy's doing on this racetrack right now, for real.
Yep. Military veteran, one leg. So we definitely give a big shout out to Little Mac, man. It's hard to do in this track, man, and with one pedal only available.
Yeah, it's a lot of heel toe driving right there.
Man, big shout out to him to be in second place in these conditions and consistent, man. That's a big shout out to him, man. Absolutely.
And he's had great pace all race long. I mean, very few mistakes look like were made there. The front 2 have really had a very good, efficient race so far. We got a good battle happening right here between Kazi and Franz here as well. This is for 13th and 14th position, and a blue flag car kind of got in the middle of all this battle here. So I think that's what swapped the positions around, but Franz is definitely fighting hard here. So Franz has had a little bit of a tough race here. Great battles so far in the race here as well. And from what I can tell, the blue flag traffic's been very aware of the racing situation around him here today as well.
That's always a great thing to have on your grid is those blue flags, those back markers of what's going on behind them, what's approaching, and also what's ahead of them, because you may be faster than what's even your blue flag or back marker at times. In these conditions, you may be approaching traffic that's in front of you. They may be battling for position. So that's very good if the back marker is having that kind of racing etiquette for our drivers that are competing for good spots here.
Absolutely, and I mean, especially when the race leaders have come around, they've been very prompt to make sure that those guys, because they've been so close together every time they come through, to not interfere with what's going on up in that front end there either. So, yeah, it's been a pretty good race overall. I mean, we've seen some pretty crazy wet races here in the past from Infinite Racing League, but this one's been a pretty settled in and looked like the drivers were really prepared for this race today. Fluka having all sorts of problems here, very quickly sliding down the field, down into 16th position here now. McCrank has just gotten around in 15th place. Fluka has not looked very comfortable here on the racetrack today. Unfortunately, rain racing, we said that, rain brings out the best in some drivers that you just least expect it. And I think that's what we're seeing here tonight in some cases for sure. Aris Rebos, I mean, this guy's just cool, calm, collected, and we were talking to the viewers a little bit about how, you don't need to win races to win a championship. And this driver's a prime example of it. He has got himself very well placed in the championship
looks like
standings.
We have a juicy battle between Rigo and Celia for 11th. Rigo just passed him there for 11th now. So Rigo now passed Celia on the inside. Rigo looks like I don't know how his race is going, but he is sitting pretty here for this top 10 as he's chasing here. Not sure how far away 10th is from him, but definitely making moves there as he was able to pass on the inside. Cia 13 on the inside. in the 963 car. So good running right now from Rigo as he is chasing here. Now he still got 2 minutes on the 3-minute mark left. Dang, man, I'm so mad I missed the race.
It's been a lot. It's been a
Man.
good race. It's been a good race. But I mean, right now, Hi My Name is really applying some pressure on Bloxham here. And I mean, you know,
Woo-wee.
that is some tough company right there to be trying to apply pressure to. I mean, clearly we know Bloxham. He was in the booth with us last week as a Summer Series champion in the first Summer Series, right? So I mean, he's no stranger. That is for sure. To fighting, and I'm not sure why the camera crew switched those there, as we have a great battle happening here for 3rd and 4th place, but they got us back there. And, you know, that's no easy task to be to try and
No,
overtake
not
a
at all.
champion. And you know what? Hi, my name. It sure
No.
seems like he is up to it, because he has just been pushing and pushing and pushing right to the end of this race to try and close up this gap. He wants that final step on the podium, and it shows right now in that car attitude. He took a wide entry. He's looking for a big exit here. He is really doing everything he can to try and find his way around Bloxham. But you know, Bloxham is like, all right, son, let's go to school. Let's see what happens.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. You know, Blocks is going to give that defense until you're able to pass him, until you can't defend no more, man. But this is some good running here from My Name Is. I mean, he is bumper to bumper. He's letting Blocks know that he's... Oh,
Nope,
oh,
leg.
sheesh, I
That
have
was
a
definitely a
glitch.
spike. Yeah, I was like, I don't know what's going on there. There we go.
I
So
was like, oh
Later's
my
on the final
God.
lap here. So Lucas has just come across our
Here we
finish
go,
line.
ladies and gentlemen.
And where is the gap? It's about 15 seconds for 3rd place. So Lucas and Littleman have done a great job at losing some pretty elite company in behind him here in this race.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Ghost, man, I also want to give you a big shout out, man, to you and GT45 Gaming for giving us another great broadcast, man. I'm pretty sure our viewers are enjoying it. I was enjoying it while I was out. And now that I'm on board, give you guys some chuckletainment, man. I just enjoy coming in the booth with you, man, and just providing this commentary, man. You just make it that much more exciting for me. So I want to give you that big shout out, man, from behalf of IRL and our admin crew. We appreciate you, bro. We love you, and we look forward to these broadcasts every Sunday, man. So we thank you for that, man.
We appreciate you, chocotainment. Yeah, we need to brand that. We need to brand that.
Definitely.
Oh,
So,
and there we
my
go.
God,
Hi, my
looks like
name is gets a run here. He
Yes,
is
sir.
on
I'm at
Bloxham.
it.
Here we go. Is he going to
Yes,
try
he
to get it
is.
done here? He's definitely going to take a
Oh,
look.
on the inside, on the outside, on the inside here. Which turn have we got coming up here?
Ooh, this is
we down the back
side-by-side
straight.
racing. Bloxham has the position here, so he does have the defensive position coming into the corner. He needs to get back
This
in
is a
line.
battle right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is good
Here we
right
go,
here.
chat.
This is a battle.
Every race this season, a podium battle to the checkered flag. It just has not disappointed this season, and we're no different here. This isn't 1st and 2nd. This time it's for 3rd place, but boy, hi, my name is... this guy, massive props to this driver today. Boy, he has absolutely turned it up a level here in the last couple weeks, hasn't he? Oh my.
Dude, I'm telling you what, man, from the first race, and I mean, I'm pretty sure there was a race there, probably the mountain where it gave him a hard time. I'm pretty sure that was the mountain that probably was his worst race. But keep in mind, we do have a 1-round drop round, so that is your worst race comes off the record. So right now, the worst race is the round, by round. So hi, my name is. He is definitely performing here because, you know, right now, points do matter. As we progress here in the season, now that we're halfway through the championship, every point matters here.
All right, so there we go. Bloxham doing what Bloxham does and defends out the position, so it is going to be Lucas with the race win. It's going to be Little Mac with fastest lap on the racetrack, keeping in mind in 2nd place. We got Bloxham here in 3rd place. We've got Hi, my name is in the 4th place with that great finish we just saw. Needhams holds on to 5th from the charge from Rapid Duck. 6th place finish for Duck. Johnny B is our defending champion, and boy, he's got some trouble on the front end of that car, so he definitely got into some trouble here in this race. He's going to bring it home here in 7th place. Eris Rebros, Indy winner, is going to finish in 8th place. Savage in. I called it, Chad. I said, watch out for this guy. He's a good contender for top 10. There he is, 9th place. I believe he started in 20th here in the grid. Butler Racing is going to round out that top 10. He's just waiting to come across to take that checkered flag here. All the drivers in behind have already taken the checkered flag, so 10th is his and his alone to take here. So we're going to stay on board with our Australian racer as he brings his Aston Martin home here the final time around Paul Ricard. And that was a good race. That was some great rain racing from these drivers here tonight.
I wish I could have watched it, brother. Man, I'm sorry I missed it.
No, it is all good, my guy. Hey, family first, so there it is. 10th place for Butler. It's
Absolutely.
Rigo
There
in
we go.
11th. Kazimitsu ends up coming back into 12th place. That was a good little recovery at the end of the race for him. Franz in 13th. Ends up getting McCrank there at the end. McCrank's going to drop down to 14th. Tango 2 with a 15th place finish. That was a good finish for Tango.
That's not bad.
We got Racing Hobo up in 16th place. I believe that's best finish of the season for him here as well this season. We got Average Lad in 17th. GLR Seal in 18th. Joy Boy returns after his return in 19th place. We got Delta Mike all the way up to the 20th place. Good finish for him this season here as well. Apex Guardian up into 21st. We've got Ramen here in 22nd. And this driver started off tough. Huge damage early on in the race. Good, decent little recovery. Brock Lee in 23rd place. Definitely an interesting race for that driver. Irish Jerry in 24th. Cletus. Boy, this driver had a rough day in 25th place. Bombastico here in 26th.
That's not normal for him.
Apex Jakey, a bit of a rough day here as well on track. Definitely got into some penalty trouble with race officials there in 27th position. GLR Racer said that the team pulled him off the racetrack before race time because he wrecked all the race cars, so he didn't make the grid. So, unfortunate, but they'll have those cars back in action. They'll have those cars back in action, so there we go.
Definitely do it.
We got some racing donuts here from our race winner. We don't see that too often on the back straight there.
That is I gotta tell you what though, man, that is a hell of a debut there from Lucas, man.
Absolutely.
Coming from the GT7 platform.
Yeah, he comes directly from our community over there on GT7. He was really excited to get into this race here today, and well, I bet you he didn't see a race win coming. I'll tell you what. Man, I can't wait to hear what he has to say.
Let's give Luke Ass a big shout out, man. His ass. Let's give Luke Ass a big shout out for his debut in IRL, man. Taking that first podium and that first to get that podium win, to get the win on your debut in IRL. That is a hell of an accomplishment.
One is your first ever ACC PS5 race ever.
Race.
Like, I mean, that's. But you know,
it's gonna be good.
I know a lot about this driver. Like I said, he's a big part of my community. He's one of my administration GT45 server. You know, he plays a big role with our championship seasons over on that side of things as well. You know, he's not unfamiliar with racing. He's a real life racer. Awesome. So you know, and it shows. The experience showed on track today. Clearly, he understands how to set these cars up a little bit as well. I mean, tuning is half the battle in this game. We all know that. So, you know, he definitely had a good race today. Can't wait to hear what he has to say about it. But he was definitely confident coming in. I can't say that much about it. I went and talked to some of the guys before the race started and just reminded them, you know, survival is key, and then let's see what you got. Mm-hmm. So, absolutely, definitely a great run there from Lucas 36 and Little Mac in their first races this season as well. And who do we got? We got our third place finisher up in the booth here. So we'll just get right into it here. Let's flip over my screen real quick.
Yes, sir, man.
We'll skip that there intro video here, and we'll have a chat with MX Blocks, and we had him in the booth with us last week at Indy. Didn't have the car out on track. He decided to come and join us up in the commentary box, but boy, he was out on track today, and a lot of new faces out on track today. Some tough racing conditions, and a third place finish here for you today. So talk us through how the race went for you here tonight.
Man, it went okay until I had my little spin while out in front, and I knew everybody else was running a little bit lower wing than I was, because man, they had some speed down that straight. But I'd added it just to get a little bit more in those, you know, sector 1 and sector 2, where it's a little more technical, or sector 3. Man, it was fun. Great race by the new guy, Lucas and Little Mac. Wow. Incredible performance by him tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we're no stranger to Little Mac in the community here. We see he's been around for a long time. He's a great ACC racer, but you know, just a huge shout out to him. You know, we know he's a heel toe racer due to only having one leg that he can race with. So yeah, to pull off a second place finish here in a very, very difficult racing conditions on a difficult racetrack in the wet, I would say. It was definitely a good run, but I mean, that's not to take away from you. You know, you're actively fighting for this championship battle here in the series, and obviously with JP not in the field here tonight, there was big opportunity for some of you guys really to try and grab those important points without him on the field. And well, a little bit of a wrench in the program for you guys tonight here with those couple newcomers coming in, but third place finish. Pretty happy with that?
Man, I'm happy with it. No doubt. I mean, it was a hell of a battle there at the end with how my name is what to keep third. Man, he was really coming with some fire at me.
Yeah, I saw that. And that being said, man, how did that change your game plan in the last 2 laps, man? Because every lap matters, man. And the wet conditions in this race, there with so many turns and the track limits there. How did that pressure? Did you feel like as he got closer, if he had one more lap, he might have took that from you?
Uh, Man, it was touch and go every lap. There was a few times I came on the Mistral straight and had a pretty good run, and then every time he'd duck out from behind me, he couldn't gain on me again. So, man, I was just giving it hell. I think I had a little diffuser damage. Our winner gave me a little NASCAR bump draft a couple times on those couple laps down Mistral, but no big deal. Hell of a race, and man, that was just a blast. It was fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, we thank you, Bloxon, for always racing with us, man, giving us a hard-fought fight there for third. But it looks like we have some new drivers here, man, and the grid is getting more and more competitive every week. It's always good to have different podium interviews. That means we're doing something right. We have different drivers interviewing on the podium here every week.
And it has been the case this season. That's the best part about it as well. But before you bounce, Bloxman, of course, any shout outs you want to toss out there to the viewers watching at home as well?
Man, shout out to everybody. Just IRL in itself, you Ghost. Man, shout out to Lucas. That's 2 races in a row we've had a first time winner in IRL. That is awesome, and I love it.
That is awesome. That is definitely awesome. How you definitely feel? Last question. How you feel going into next week as we head to Zolder for now? That will put us past mid-season. So now that we'll be going past mid-season, how do you feel going into Zolder next week?
Man, y'all know I love me some Zolder. I definitely won't miss that race at all. I feel good.
Awesome.
I missed 2 races here, the second and third race. I kind of figure I'm out of the championship, so it's just kind of, man, balls out and send it full send every race.
Well, it is a funny statement, but obviously JP has been very strong this season, but this grid is just competitive, and I really, I don't think that the championship is going to be as simply decided this season. I guess we'll see what happens next week if JP shows it makes the race or not. Next week he did say that he may not quite be able to make the whole season, but I don't think any of you drivers are quite out of this yet. I think that anything can really happen as we continue to see the competition really get stiffer and stiffer throughout the field here as the season progresses. So I don't think I wouldn't hold on to that thought quite yet. I think that anything's still possible here yet with 4 rounds of racing left.
Absolutely.
The best thing I can do is just go out and win and podium, and give it my best every race. See where I wind up.
Every point matters. Every point matters. Well, Blocks, man, we thank you for joining us, man. Good luck on that podium today, and we'll see you next week at Zolder, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Next is we have Little Mac, man, our number 2 on the podium. Little Mac, how's it going, brother? How was the race for you this evening? How did the car feel?
That was fun. That's all I'm gonna say. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Way more competition than I'm used to.
Well, I mean, you were in some elite company there. I mean, obviously you were fighting a field of about 3 or 4 guys that are definitely physically immediately fighting for that championship here this season. Of course, that prize pool at the end of the season for our top 3 finishers. And I mean, you come in for the first race of the season after a little time away. It's a very, very difficult race, very difficult conditions, and you came out and you absolutely showed up, put on a great race in that BMW. So I mean, how do you feel overall with how things went tonight, knowing that you beat some pretty elite company on the racetrack here this evening?
I'm just feeling, honestly, I'm feeling great because I know my paces went up a lot since I raced at IRL a lot. Had some issues with some other things, but other than that, I feel great, man. I'm keeping up with Blocks that just makes me so damn happy, but that's about to change here soon when he gets his new gear. It's going to change, trust me.
Well, listen,
he's missing, but he's gonna find out real quick.
Well, you know what? We always embrace the competition. IRL. We we always want you guys to battle it out in a competitive way, clean way, as clean as possible, but also being competitive, man. And like I said, I missed most of the race here, but from what I heard, man, you had a great stint today. Was there any issues with the tires today on strategy wise, wet, dries? How did the tires perform for you today throughout the race? If you made any changes, I'm assuming you did, but
I didn't make any changes. I did the
no
whole
changes.
No changes. I did it. I had like an hour, half of practice when I was invited to come race, and I got on there and got my tires to where they would stay about close with only like 5 or 6 cars on there, and then I went down a couple clicks with them all because I know they're going to go up on fire.
And I'm assuming you was on wets or slicks?
Dry. Slicks.
Oh shit! Well, go ahead then, man. That was a hell of a race then. Yeah, if that's the case, I mean, you did it all on slicks, no stops.
And also coming out with fastest lap on the racetrack that race as well.
And man, look, on top of that,
I'm getting up there, guys. I'm getting up there. It's fun though.
Absolutely, man. Well, you're always welcome on this daggone grid. As long you know how we do, we keep it clean, we keep it competitive, and we keep it professional here, and definitely some good driving etiquettes. But it doesn't look like you had too many incidents today, and everything was pretty much clear. Again, I feel like Paul Ricard qualification is important. In this, especially in this competition here in this series. Being that we have elite drivers. Not sure, I missed the qualification. How did you qualify today, and how much factor did that play into the race, and were you able to stay competitive up front, or did you lose any ground during the race?
I should have did wets in the qualifying, but I didn't get enough practice to do it. So I did it on slicks, and I ended up 6th, and I was happy with that. But there was no time left to actually change and try to do it different, so I just did what I could on the slicks and ended up in 6th place, which is actually a good spot because when you come in after corner 1, corner 2 just puts you on the inside, so it helped.
Absolutely, and I mean, early on in the race, so you drop back 2 or 3 positions very early on. Was that just kind of that survivability factor? Just keeping the car in the right places, keeping it safe, keeping it out of the trouble until you could get in some clean air.
Oh yeah, it's always crazy the first, I'd say 2 or 3 laps. With the whole train of cars and people hitting the brakes earlier than normal and other ones hitting them late.
And the windshield splatter.
All I tried to do is just stay out of everybody's way. I don't want to mess with anybody. I don't want to hit nobody. That's the biggest thing for me is I don't want to touch everybody else because I know I get upset when people bump past me. I get irate. You guys know that. But that was great racing, man. All of it. Great racing. No complaints.
Absolutely, man. Well, we thank you, man, Little Mac, for coming in, joining us this week in the grid. You're always welcome on the grid, and our standards. You know how we do every week in and week out, man. So, but we thank you, man. How do you feel going into next week, man? As we go into Zolder for now that we're past the midseason. I mean, we're at midseason. Next week will take us into past the midseason point. How do you feel going into Zolder next week as we head to round 5?
I love the track, but I don't love me. So we'll see.
That's a pretty fair statement if I've ever heard one right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, at least he's being brutally honest, probably. I mean, come on.
And most importantly, Little Mac, of course, any shout outs or thank yous you want to throw out there to the viewers watching at home.
Thanks to Blocks, man. He keeps me up. I gotta just keep pushing to catch up to him. So
that's it, man. That's it. Like I always tell everybody, the more we race together on this grid, the more we know each other, the more competitive it gets, to the point where you can go side by side on 3 turns back to back. But again, that is
so.
Yeah, that puts a lot of confidence on the guy you're racing next to on the grid, and everybody has confidence at that point. So again, the more we race together, the more we stay competitive. It just provides a quality, great grid and a great race. So, man, we thank you back for being here with us and providing that on the grid, and we look forward to seeing you next week, man.
Yeah, congrats, Lucas. But you need to upgrade. You ain't no damn beginner, dude. You ain't no rookie.
No, we're about to get the scoop right now. So,
I know you
ladies,
guys, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You know what, Ghost? I'm gonna have you do the introduction because this is a debut driver. He's coming from your community, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you do the debut, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So first of all, congratulations to Little Mac, and it always feels a little bit extra special when the teacher gets beaten by the student too. So just keep that in mind, right? Just saying. But congratulations to Lucas. Like I said, he just got his PlayStation 5 on the weekend. Obviously, Black Friday sales, right? Everything's a little bit cheaper.
Perfect
So,
timing.
you know, he did his scoop, he got his PlayStation 5 set up, he spent, you know, the whole day getting it all set up. I jumped in chat with these guys yesterday. I was going to do some Group 1 lobbies over on Gran Turismo 7, as a matter of fact, and every single one of these guys was up in
Sound
here,
like fun.
and they were practicing, and they were, you know, sharing information, they were asking questions in your guys' server, you know, the guys, the racing
You
group
have
was
to.
asking, you know, answering those questions, giving these guys the
Absolutely.
tips. And, you know,
The
these
more the
guys were
better.
working hard, so, you know, I let them be and let them do their thing. And then we queue in today, you know, I jumped into the chat with them. I had 5 members of my community on track here tonight, which I love to see. And, you know, wished them all good luck. I gave them a couple of pointers for beginning of the race, but lo and behold, here is the man standing on the top of the podium in his first ever PS5 ACC. I can't set a course of competition competitive race, and you know what? And he beat some elite company here tonight. You know, there is some no joke
Yes, sir.
drivers
You
in
did.
this league that are
Absolutely, you
fighting
did.
for that top prize, and they didn't give him this win. He earned this win 100% of the way through. So congratulations, Lucas. Talk us through your night, man. The mic is yours, my guy.
I appreciate it, guys. Tim, as always, pleasure to have you. Thank you for everything you do. Chaco, pleasure to meet you. Glad to be here. Get a chat with you for the first time. Unreal. This is unreal to me. I did not come into this expecting to have the top pace, front running pace. I just came into it trying to have fun, be comfortable with car, found car that I was comfortable with, and then just started putting in the laps. And that's really, I feel like what it came down to was just all the laps I put in, working just little adjustments on the setup. And then, yeah, I mean, from the race start onward, it was just a matter of stay comfortable. Don't press the issue too much. And yeah, I mean, couldn't have gone any smoother that I think other than just one little mistake with Bang and Jay, just one little incident, and I apologize about it. Things happen, unfortunately. It's racing,
Absolutely.
but we both survived. We went forward, and man, that was wild. Last 15 minutes catching lap traffic. Little
Yeah,
map
that
would
back
catch
marker
me a
traffic,
couple
yeah, it
times.
can be crazy, man. But listen, man, this is a hell of a debut for you to come in here and do it. First of all, coming from the GT7 platform, being your first ACC race, doing it in these conditions, in this track, and in this. How much difference was the game in your sense? How much different did it feel coming from GT7 to ACC? How much different did the game feel, and did that play any part in your racing tonight?
For me, honestly, Assetto Corsa is a lot more intuitive. It feels a lot more at home for me being behind the wheel. Gran Turismo, you kind of got to know the exploits to the game, kind of doing rapid fire downshift and then upshift little things on corner entries and exits. And that just doesn't work here. So this more suited my kind of driving where it was just consistent pace. Keep running consistent laps, hit your marks, and it'll come to you. And thankfully and very surprisingly, it came to me tonight.
Awesome, man. And what was the most difficult part of your setups? Like, what did you find the most difficult part of you tuning your car to get it where you wanted it, or get that just enough, get the car right where I can tweak it from here when you first came on?
Well, the biggest problem with me practicing was there just wasn't enough cars on track. So there'd only be about
Track
3 or 4 of us.
track
And
temp.
then, I mean, as soon as we loaded in for this, the first practice session, the free practice, I immediately went out on softs and I was matching my times that I was running on wets. So it was like I knew right then and there I got to change my strategy. So my setup that I had originally for wet tires, I altered just a couple little things. Of course, pressures first and foremost. That's the one thing that I had to come to grips with. Thankfully, I came to grips with it. And again, I thank your community and everyone in the server for helping us with the tips and things of that nature. And yeah, it just culminated in everything working. And I over the moon. This is unreal.
I'm excited.
Hey, can I say something real quick to Lucas?
Yeah,
Absolutely, Mac.
Okay. Hey, Lucas, to help you with that setup, with the when the track is like that and then you can't get enough cars on there, go into single mode and adjust that way. And if you need any help, give me a holler and I'll show you how to do it.
Yes, sir. Hey, Matt, congrats, dude. I haven't raced with you since a GTC series, and I mean, I was saying this isn't no offense to you. You were 3rd or 4th division while I was top division, and here I am hustling and bustling to chase you down and fight with you. That was too fun, brother. Glad to be racing with you here.
I miss racing with you, man.
This
But
is
yeah, it used
awesome.
to be I didn't race into wherever, and yeah, I did
This
get
is
a lot
great.
faster, a lot faster.
Well, I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, at the end of the day, the sim racing community, it doesn't matter what platform we're racing on, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's about building friendships, about building bonds, some competitive nature, some trash talking. Got to have the trash talking. It's a big part of it. Of course, the tasteful nature, which most of these guys keep it pretty right and tight in the Discord servers, which we appreciate. But you know, it creates an overall vibe, and to see the GT7 community and the ACC communities come together a little bit and start to mess around with each other's platforms and race against each other is really fun, and it's exciting to watch. But what's more exciting to watch is just to see these drivers coming over and having success, right? You know, Lucas coming over first time ever, you know,
I
hugely
love it.
successful. But now, you know, that leads me to the biggest question. You know, we explained to the viewers and Choco when you got into the booth that, you know, you have real life racing experience. You're a current running real life racer. We didn't explain too much more on that because obviously I always like to let you take the helm on releasing what you like to talk about there. But did that real life experience help you kind of get to terms with the tuning and understanding how the cars operate in this platform as well?
To an extent, yes. I mean, quite a drastic difference when you're in sub 200 wheel horsepower front wheel drives versus a big boat of a 400, 500 horsepower GT3 car with downforce. But I mean, it all does translate. Understanding the tuning and setup, knowing what you need, like the changes, what they're going to do, how it's going to benefit you. But I mean, again, it's all about seat time. It comes down to seat time more than anything, I think. And being around fast drivers, that ups the level of competition always. The better the drivers, the better the competition, the better everyone as a whole gets throughout the whole field. And that's what I love to see.
Absolutely. And I mean, you know, halfway through the season, planning on continuing the remainder of the season out?
No, I'm only one and done. No, of course, I'm gonna be there.
I'm about to say what?
No,
No, listen,
Man, I
man.
was getting happy there. I was getting happy. Come on, man.
No, man, I'm just glad he's joking, man. Listen, Luke,
Yeah, so fun.
to have you coming from the GT7 community, man, and do that performance there, Ghost, I want to appreciate, thank you for inviting your community over, because that's what we're looking for. We welcome GT7 again, as long as you keep the standards clean, keep the driving etiquette. We know how well both ACC lobbies also has their problems, public lobbies just like
yes,
GT7.
of
But
course.
when you bring it to the league, you know, as long as you meet our standards, and if you coming from GT7 and you race like Lucas did tonight and maintain those standards, you're not gonna have any issues transitioning over to ACC and being competitive in league racing. Because ladies and gentlemen, tonight was a tough grid for Lucas to do what he did, and we were still missing top drivers.
Well, I mean,
On this grid tonight.
Littleback and Lucas. I mean, not just to take it, you know, can't
Oh
take
my God,
anything
yeah.
away from Littleback. I mean, he had an incredible race tonight
No,
as
no,
well.
sir, Johnny.
Incredible race.
Everything. I mean, you figure the top 10 or top 10 drivers, and we still had some after top 10 that were just had a bad night.
Yep.
You
know, Cletus being one of them.
Baby.
You know,
One-legged beast.
That's right.
Yeah, you fucker, one-legged beast and doing that shit. You need to train me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Excuse the language, ladies and gentlemen. This is a family-friendly show. I do apologize.
That's right. You
I can't
just
just
hashtag angry Choco in the chat there for that one chat.
No, but man, listen, we definitely, man, we appreciate you guys. Lucas, thank you for coming on, giving us a great race, man. How do you feel going into Zolder? I'm pretty sure you have ran Zolder before in GT7, but going into Zolder, how do you feel going into Zolder next week with the Aston? You looking at bringing? It's gonna be, I don't know what the grid's gonna be like last week, but how do you feel going into Zolder next week as we were going to round 5?
I just take it one race at a time. Like, I mean, these conditions obviously suited me well. I was comfortable in them. I don't know what Zolder is going to be like, whether it's dry or mixed conditions or anything like that. I do like the circuit of Zolder.
Awesome.
I've done some racing on project cars there quite a bit a couple years ago, primarily. I mean, it's track I'm comfortable with, but I just, again, seat time. Got to put it in seat time, and we'll see where I feel going into the race next week.
Absolutely.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
And I mean, one last final question from me here for you as well, Lucas. I mean, obviously coming from a Gran Turismo 7 platform, and Little Mac could attest to this. We're very limited to our grid size, 16 cars. I mean, that's it. When you add broadcasters into the mix, every broadcaster takes away a grid spot, which really makes it tough to have these high energy, exciting races like ACC PS5 has us. So, 32 cars on the grid here today. I mean, what's that feeling when you're sitting on the grid when you know there's 30 of these cars behind you as opposed to only 14 or 15?
Good question.
Oh, it wasn't about them being behind me. It was when me and Mac were navigating through that lap traffic. Oh
Yeah,
boy,
I can
it just felt
imagine.
like it never ended. It felt like it never ended. You just saw car after car, and it's like, oh no, please work with us. And then they'd work with me, and immediately little Mac's right by them, or I'd get a car in between me and Mac, and next thing I've got a car in front of me who I can't remember who it was. He was clearly going to let me buy the next corner, and he kind of parked it a little bit on the driving line, and oh my god, I thought it was about to be race over for me, Mac, and the lap car. I thought it was over. I was like, no, go around him, Lucas. But no, it's incredible. It's crazy. Definitely high adrenaline.
I'm one-legged, man. So I hit the brakes earlier than everybody else. But I have to
only one-legged driver, man, but definitely competitive, man. We love that guy on the grid, man. But listen, we thank you again for showing up tonight, man, and can't wait to see you next week on the grid, man. I don't doubt it'll be any less competitive next week with you on the grid and Little Mac as well. And again, every week has been different podium, pretty much, hasn't it, Ghost?
And I mean, we should see the return of JP, our championship points leader, coming back here hopefully next week as well. So that's just going to add yet another really fast driver to that grid there at Zolder next week as well. So, boy, I got to tell you, this league has really gotten into a very high competitive level here all of a sudden since our summer series, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like again, if you got viewers right now in GT7, your league, your community wants to come over, listen. Just like Luke asked, we're gonna walk you through. If there's any questions, ask Luke. Luke already now has the grasp, understanding of it, not only in the game but with the real world experience. You can relate to it. But also a community. Ask the question. No such thing as a stupid question. The only stupid one is the one you don't ask. So ask them. We're gonna answer them for you. We're gonna get you the answer and what you need. We'll get you on the track. We'll get you whatever you need to get done. We're gonna make sure you get it done and come in right and be comfortable when it's come race time.
Absolutely. And Lucas, of course, before we let you go here, any shout outs and thank yous for the viewers watching at home as well?
First and foremost, you as always, Ghost. Want to be able to enjoy rewatching this stream without you. Got to thank IRL, got to thank Chaco, all the boys for hosting and providing this series and place to have fun. Everyone watching the stream, and of course all the drivers. We wouldn't be able to have these leagues or any sort of competition without the drivers. So keep showing up, and better everyone will get, and that's what we're here for.
Absolutely, well said. And congratulations on a great win. And I know that PlayStation chat in the background is probably absolutely lit up right now. So I'll let you get back with the group and go celebrate, my guy.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you again, guys.
You got it, brother.
Good race, Mac. Good race. Thank you, boys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Wouldn't be happy without you guys. So.
Absolutely, man. We thank you for being on the grid with us tonight, man. Ghost, looks like we wrapped up another week, man.
Well, I got to tell you, man, we're only halfway through the season, and the hype level on this fall series is just massive. It ripples. We're a GT7 community on my side of things and a GT45 gaming Discord server, but I mean, for a solid 48 hours after these races, that's the talk behind the scenes in the chats, in the servers, these races and just how absolutely high energy and exciting they are, seeing so many cars on the grid, seeing these guys just battle tooth and nail, door to door, tire to tire. I mean, it's exciting, and like I said, the competition level is just amped up this season. I mean, we have gone to being able to predict our podium, say probably 4 or 5 seasons ago, almost predictably from week to week to
we could pick out our
tonight,
sleeper drivers, everything.
I think I listed 10 drivers off at the beginning of the race that had absolute potential to win this race. And just for the record, in case you guys didn't hear it, go back and watch it. I did say watch out for Lucas tonight because he looked in fine form for his first showing. So I did say it, but just congratulations to all 31 drivers. That was tough racing out there. I mean, no matter what track you're on in wet conditions on ACC, there is so much you're dealing with. And the drivers were left with that ultimate choice tonight: do I run the slicks or do I run the wet tires? And for each driver, that choice was really going to come down to that comfort factor here on the track, due to testing, to tuning. And two new faces again on the podium. So we're seeing one regular face, it seems like, every week, and then we're seeing two new ones. Last week we had Aries Rebos up on the stream, and we had Kazimitsu also on the podium too.
That's who I was. Kazimitsu. Yeah, that's who it is.
So we're definitely seeing lots of different faces, and again with the results here tonight, completely shaking up those championship point standings. I mean, JP got a massive hand here from Lucas and Little Mac tonight in helping that points closure from guys like MX Blocks of Johnny B, Rapid Duck, Aris Rebos, Fluka. I mean, he had a tough race tonight, but Fluka, third place finisher from our last championship season as well, so continuously improving. So there's 15 drivers in this grid consistently right now that have a potential to win any one of these races. So predictability, your guess is as good as ours, viewers. I mean,
pretty much.
We're the educated ones, quote unquote, as I have air quotes in the air there. You know what I mean? So, great racing tonight. Race start was very good. We seen Kazi. I think he bailed. I really do think he just had a bailout there in the turn two there. I think he maybe made a mistake, realized that something wasn't right there, and he just took the corner real wide and just kept everything safe, right? And everybody made it through. It looked like corners 1, 2, 3, and then of course in the ensuing couple laps afterwards, I think guys were having some potential self-induced moments. We've seen about a half dozen cars hit pit lane quite early on for damage repairs, and then the race really settled in. Lots of great little battles everywhere, and I mean, again, a podium position decided right at the checkered flag here. That's 3 straight weeks in a row. We've seen 2 absolutely incredible recovery drives from some of our elite drivers here this season, coming from mid-pack all the way up to the podium in the last dying minutes of the race. I mean, you can't write this. You can't script this stuff.
No.
I mean, you really can't, Chad. So magic is happening this season over here at Infinite Racing League, and we're seeing it in absolute handfuls as every new face steps into the grid this season. That's for sure. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It was a great race here, Paul Ricard. Great racetrack, great racers.
Absolutely.
Makes for great
Absolutely.
action.
And back to what you were saying, we had now 2 weeks in a row a good battle. It came down to the wire to finish there for third place on podium. So it's 2 weeks in a row that we had a bump, that we had a nail biter of a third place finish here. So even third place is you're gonna get fought for every position here, because remember, Ghost, every position matters here. Every grid position here at the end matters. Not only qualifying, but also how you finish the race is the most important. And there's a lot on the line this year. We have first place gets the $75 PSN card, second place gets the $50, and third place gets that $25 card. So there's a lot on the line for these drivers. It's not just about bragging it this season. Now you have, on top of bragging, the bonuses, your incentives here for winning the championship overall. And keep in mind, the EU season is over. So now they'll be starting theirs next week on Saturday. So our Euro division, ran by Butler and call me CJ. They are the admin side over there. They are I think they're going to be starting next week, and I also believe that will also have. I don't want to give too much, but it's also going to be worth competing for. Put it that way on Saturday.
Some extra incentive for our competitive field is how I like to put it.
And those are 3:30 on Saturday. So if we have any community members watching, any viewers watching right now, you want to be part of the Saturday on the Euro side. If you're in the EU location, that's where we have our EU drivers every Saturday 3:30 p.m. On the EU server.
We do have quite a large UK following here at GT45 Gaming as well, so don't hesitate to send those details over to us, and we can get them posted up in our server as well for you guys. So lots of racing available. It doesn't have to be GT7 for the GT45 community. Really ultimately we can thank Sony at the end of the day for this. I mean, Sony came out with a massive Black Friday sale over the weekend, obviously, for the American Thanksgiving. And one of the things that went on sale was the full DLC content of a set of Corsa Competizione 2018. So if you haven't bought it yet, you're sitting on the fence. You know it's a pay-to-play game. You literally $25 American right now. You can own all the tracks, all the cars, and that includes the brand new Ferrari, the brand new Lamborghini, and the brand
And
new
you know what's
Porsche.
coming.
And we
And
all
you know
know,
what's
we
coming
all
to
know
ACC
Nordschleif's
too.
coming, baby. So
Yes, sir.
now is the time. The sale's only on for I think only a few more hours. So don't hesitate. It's worth to buy because I
And you,
promise you guys out there, the viewers, the racers, ACC content very, very rarely goes on sale. So take advantage of it while you can.
right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Take advantage of all that, especially if you're looking at participating in these events in IRL or other leagues in IRL. I mean, in ACC. But definitely, if you want to come, we will require every DLC that's available for ACC,
And
because
most
that's
leagues
just the way
will.
we run our season.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, if you wanna try out organized racing on ACC, you need those DLC packs. And I mean, I'm telling you, you're not gonna get them any cheaper than they're on sale for right now. I'm telling you, that's about $125 USD for all the DLC from right if you don't own any of it for 25 USD.
My
That is
God.
absolutely
My
massive, ladies and gentlemen, massive. Sony, you should be giving me a cutback
Absolutely.
for this. I mean, seriously.
Promotion for free. But man, Ghost, man, listen, I want to give you a big shout out. Now it's your turn to get the flowers, man. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And I'm speaking on behalf of the community as well, and the drivers that get to replay this thing and watch it back and watch how they comment the race. First of all, watch the race replay, but also that commentating behind it just adds to that. Adds to that feeling of knowing that feeling that you're there, you know, that experience that you provide us during your commentating and your broadcasting post race. So we look forward to that. I look forward to that, to hear myself commentate with you, see what I could do better, and I'm sure the drivers do as well when they watch it on replay and see what they could do better. And these are so crucial to league racing. You guys don't understand how commentating and broadcasting plays such a crucial role in league attendance and in league racing. And it just adds to the adversity, to the adversity of the simulation. And our drivers appreciate that, and they look forward to it every week and watching that replay. As soon as you mention broadcast or advertise broadcast for some reason, and it's just because of the broadcast, and just to have that quality broadcast that you provide to us, the commentating, and they just want to be part of that grid, man. So we thank you from behalf of IRL and our admin crew, man. We thank you, Ghost, for providing such a great service to us.
Well, we appreciate it, and I mean, it's always a pleasure when the racers are such top level like your races are over here at Infinite Racing League. But most importantly, thank you to the fans. None of this happens without the viewers at home. You know,
Absolutely.
you guys are the hype sauce. You guys are the reason why the drivers strive so hard to get better and better and better to provide better racing. They want closer racing for you guys. You know, ultimately, the goal of any racer on track is, in this case of a 30-car grid, is all 30 of those cars to finish nose to tail at the end of the race, and that's what every racer is always striving for. So, you know, thank you to the viewers, the support, the undying support, the returning support from our viewers that come back every week. You know, we really appreciate it. We can't do it without you. And with that being said, if you haven't liked and shared already, which I know most of you legends have because you're absolutely awesome,
hit that button.
do us a favor and hit those two buttons. They're free. They cost you nothing but 5 seconds of your time, and it helps us grow. And if you like the racing, you like what's happening over here at Assetto Corsa and GT7, just hit those sub buttons. Turn on those bell notifications. You'll never miss another live racing action moment. I mean, what a doozy. So what do we got on the store? I believe it's 70 minutes next week. Is that what is that what's going on?
I believe we have a doozy. I believe so. I believe we are going to Zolder, and I believe it's going to be a 70-minute. Let me confirm that. But it's definitely, you know, Zolder always brings a good show anyway.
It's showing on our flyer as an 80 minutes, so
there we go. It's 80 minutes then.
And it's an open pit window, which means there's not going to be requirements for this race either, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a little sneak tip for everybody watching at home. It is open pit here for the 80 minutes as well, which means strategy is definitely going to be a key factor into how that race plays out at Zolder, because it would take an awfully brave racer to go an 80-minute no-stop stint on tires and fuel. That's for sure. Yeah, potentially not even possible depending on the car they're driving, of course. But 80 minutes at Zolder. Zolder's a fantastic racetrack. It's a difficult racetrack. It's one of the more tough racetracks here on the platform as well. So it's going to provide some great racing, and it's definitely going to separate the boys from the men and the girls from the women. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And that being said, man, if we definitely would love to get more female drivers in our community. So if you're GT7 viewers
we
community,
might have a couple brewing their way into it over here on my side. Don't worry, my friend.
Absolutely, bring it to the boys, man. Bring it to the boys. If I can get some females bringing it on to the boys, man, this is gonna be a heck of a broadcast, Ghost.
Yeah, we got some pretty speedy females over there on the GT7 side of things.
Man, let's show the boys.
So it's not an
show the boys what we
impossibility.
got.
That is for sure. But nonetheless, I mean, all the racers, it doesn't matter who they are, it doesn't matter or what skill level they are. You know, they've been providing great action all season, and we definitely appreciate that here as well. So, you know, we made a deal with IRL too as well for the community watching behind the scenes here. We made a deal with IRL that we hold these grids full for all 8 races this season. We keep an average of 30 drivers on grid, which we are most certainly doing at the moment right now. A little bit above actually. We're going to match their prize pool next season on behalf of GT45 Gaming, so we're going to give these drivers even more reason.
And who knows, I might come over to GT7 and broadcast with you, and heck, even partake in some of the events there, because I haven't raced GT7 in a while. But listen, and there's nothing more I love than community racing with good communities, man, especially GT45 Gaming. So I would definitely love to jump in there with you and do a broadcast there for your drivers and or be part of the race itself.
Oh, we always got lots going on over there. Right now we're in the lull because the New Year's coming, and it just doesn't. It's not feasible to start a championship right at Christmas time to me. So we'll be dropping a big championship bomb here in the new year from GT45 Gaming side of things. So there is definitely something coming, and I mean, we've always got commentary coming. There's lots of great leagues. Stick to the Discord server. Hills us hang out at the GT45 server. We've always posting all these league stuff up in the server for everybody to check out for themselves. And we have a new line on a big prize pool in the Gran Turismo 7 side of things as well, coming from one of our communities, which we're going to get into information available to everybody as well. And that is going to make it extremely competitive. It's going to be one heck of a race series. But
absolutely. So we got to make sure we announce that on IRL, because I'm pretty sure we got some GT7 drivers that might want to partake in that.
This one they may very well want to. Yeah, this is a big prize pool. We're talking. I think it's a 1,400 pound overall prize pool, I think, for the season.
Yeah, let's make sure we announce that. And get those boys on the grid and get it spiced up, and then heck, I might even join you for the commentating next year for that prize pool.
So yeah, lots going on, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate y'all. We won't take up any more of your great Thanksgiving weekend. We definitely appreciate y'all for hanging out with us, or if you're watching it after the fact as a replay at your own pleasure. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Please do leave your feedback. Leave a comment below. Even as a replay, please do leave us your feedback. Let us know how the audios are. Let us know how the visuals are. We always love the constructive criticism. And we're here to strive and give you the best production value that we absolutely can here at GT45 Gaming and Infinite Racing League, partnered with Coach Dave Academy. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, the man, Coach Dave Academy. If you want to know anything about ACC, that is where you got to go. You got to be at Coach Dave Academy, www.coachdaveacademy.com. Pretty simple. And you know, they have your basic setups for wheels for getting started. They have basic stuff, free information available to get you started on ACC, and of course they do have those professional tunes for the serious league racers out there for each car and track combination based off weather and the whole kit and caboodle, ladies and gentlemen. So it's a great resource for competitive racing, Coach Dave Academy, and you know what? They really love their sim racing community. So big shout out to Coach Dave Academy as well before we shut this down here for tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Ghost, man, this has been fun, man. This has been great. I'm gonna join you definitely next week as Alder, as I look forward to that and see what these drivers bring, man. But definitely look forward to it tonight, man. And we thank you again.
Hey, cheers, brother.
All right, I'll be Choco2225 signing out, brother.
All right, Choco Entertainment out, ladies and gentlemen. Until next week.
I'm out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there we have it. The infamous Joko. I mean, this guy, high energy. He brings a whole different. He brings a whole different kind of energy to the booth, and I love working with him. We'll rein in that language. I swear, eventually. But hey, you know what? He brings some great high energy content. He brings another approach to the series too. I mean, Choco obviously is one of the head administrators over here at IRL. He's one of the guys that kind of tries to keep things moving and grooving as efficiently and smoothly as possible at Infinite Racing League. So you know, he used to be the broadcaster for these guys until we stepped in to take over the role, so he could spend some more time on track. And obviously with the growth and the competition coming out on track, you know, he's decided it's time to get back in the booth and come and keep the fans as informed as possible. So I do appreciate having him here because his knowledge of the platform is definitely an important piece of the commentary here on ACC, since I don't know all the answers on this platform. It's not my bread and butter, so it makes for fun, and I appreciate Choco 100% of the way. And like I said, all the angry parents, you can just email the IRL Human Resources Department there, and they'll take care of that. I promise. But no, I'm kidding. We love you all. We had fun tonight. That's the important thing, you know. Again, 2 new faces on the podium with RWB's Little Mac. He's not an unfamiliar driver here in ACC, but he hasn't been competing here in the last couple seasons. Comes back in for the first time after a while away and absolutely smashes in an incredible race here tonight with a great second place finish, and just a couple seconds off of our new face Lucas as well, coming in for his ever first race on ACC and bringing home a top of the podium. So if there's any way to boost the confidence, it's definitely a debut win in a pretty tough field of racing in tough circumstances. But I mean, not to take away from our normal competitors here, blocks of Johnny B, Fluka, Hi My Name Is, with a great racing performance and really trying to fight for that third place position at the end of the race. I mean, you cannot take anything away from Hi My Name Is. He absolutely gave Bloxham the gears at the end of the race, but Bloxham, a little bit of schooling there on how to defend and hold that position, but it was definitely hard. And this championship is not over yet. I mean, JP is obviously has not too many people have had an answer for that driver here so far in this series, but this championship is far from over, and I can't wait to see how the last half of the season is. So next Sunday night, 7:45 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be live here with our introductions here at IRL. We're going to go through our driver field like we much did this evening, and we'll get 80 minutes, 8-0 at Zolder with open pit next weekend. So we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Remember, you all matter. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving weekend for those of us down south of Canada here, and stay winning. And I mean, what else can we say? But great racing here as always on Sunday night, and we'll catch you on the next one. We appreciate y'all.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits. Don't be rigid, always work towards a prime.